What did I not?
God. And it's like talking to a fucking brick wall sometimes. Oh.
What were you attempting?
Trying to explain to one of my coworkers how to use the search function of our main asset management program.
Oh no.
The coworker's been working at the company for 5 more years than I have.
Bro, how the
in this
Don't ask
exact
questions
job.
you don't want the answers to.
That's why I stopped, Max.
I've come to realize that a majority of the people that have the senior support role aren't very good at supporting, and they usually only have the senior role because they've been here a long time.
They haven't done enough to fuck up.
No, I mean, no, hey, I wouldn't go that far. Hey, I wouldn't go that far.
Sorry, they haven't done enough to piss off the wrong person.
Exactly. God knows if I was their boss, they'd be fucking out the door.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, that's just the Peter principle. Did they teach you that at Champlain?
Rise. Oh, I know Champlain. Yeah, the Peter principle, I know. Ooh, man, I wish I could have got in on that. That stock market crash was just a joke, guys, we swear.
Yeah, it crashed for all of 5 seconds because Japan had a little bit of an oopsie.
Yeah, and then BlackRock bought up all their stocks when people started panic selling. Really weird how that happened right after BlackRock said they wanted to invest in Japan. Yeah.
Super weird, I know.
Yeah. Crazy. But it's neither here nor there. That's how I feel right now, gentlemen. That's how I feel right now.
In better news, not that I don't know if any of us actually care. Dead by Daylight apparently secured a Castlevania crossover.
Oh, I mean that's cool. I was worried that for a second you were about to mention because I saw they also secured a FNAF crossover.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
That's... You know, I'm glad Dead by Daylight's still doing pretty solid. Because they do consistently still support that game, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm glad it's supported. I don't give a shit about it. I wish to God it was never streamed again, but...
Yeah. Man, I am still disgruntled over 7 Days to Die.
Sorry, what's
up? That it finally released?
It finally released, but I have to agree with the fucking reviews that I saw, people complaining about the same shit of, oh yeah, it released, it's effectively Alpha 22.
Oh no.
Like, it being released is them just moving on from the product, because they de-optimized the game, again. They still haven't fixed the pathing in it. They made mechanics that people liked worse. The trader has turned into a gamified RNG gotcha machine where you manipulate the RNG until you get the items you want from it instead of what it used to be. You know, the AI pathing on the zombies is still stupid as hell. Like, one of the best zombie bases is still this super asinine, retarded dick on a spike base, where effectively what you do is you build a single block high for like 60 blocks, and then you make this enlarging ring around like a spiraled enlarging ring around the 1 block high dick tower, and you leave enough space between each spiral for a body to fall through. And the zombie AI doesn't know how to calculate on the fly each turn you have to make for the spiral. So they fall off. And if you do enough turns, not a single zombie can reach you. But as long as you leave the door open inside the base to get to you, the zombies don't attack the 1 block thick tower that you're building your entire base on. They just try to run up and get you, except they all die because they all fall off and take fall damage eventually. And I think someone tested the maximum limits of this, and it was like on week 52 or something, where every zombie was a super radioactive regenerating zombie that they actually had to start shooting them to kill them all. It's so fucking dumb. It's so dumb.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly dumb.
It's just they've done the opposite, because you know a lot of games that have like peak mods that are like a mod that everyone downloads, and so the company is like, oh, well, what if we just made this part of the game? Yeah, no, they don't do that. In fact, they get rid of stuff that people enjoy. That's how 7 Days to Die development cycle's gone. Ever since, like, Alpha 6. Hey guys, here's this cool feature. Everyone likes it. Oh, everyone liked that feature. Damn, well, you better get rid of it.
Can't keep that. The only time you should take a feature away from a game that the community enjoys is because it's breaking literally 99% of the other code.
Yeah. Well,
guys,
it's
we
like
understand you all like the triple backflip super jump, but it keeps causing crashes. We're sorry.
Yeah, well, it's like I was complaining when it came to fucking Helldivers, and why I'm never probably gonna play the game again now. So thanks for that, fucking Arrowhead, you useless shits. Helldivers, they decided to nerf everything again with the upcoming patch after they announced they were doing no more nerfs. I'm totally fine with some nerfs that were totally reasonable in the game, right? Like, they added a gun in that shot fragmentation grenades, except the optimal strategy was not to hit the target with the fragmentation grenade. It was to blow up the fragmentation grenade in front of the target, because that would turn the fragments into a shaped charge that did like 10 times the amount of damage that the explosion did, because they didn't add a time to live on the fragments. So every second the fragments would travel through one of the enemies, they would be dealing the full fragmentation damage.
Oh.
See, that sounds like the Dark Souls 2 durability bug, but in the player's favor for once.
Yes.
Because for every frame your weapon was stuck in a corpse, it was doing like 5 times the amount of durability damage.
That was the funniest shit ever, man. I only hit the wall once and my sword broke. What the fuck?
It was worse. Well, I found out it was worse on corpses.
Yeah.
So that extra swing you take to make sure you took out their HP, yeah, that just cost you like 30% of your durability. You could get fucked.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fucking awful. And I can understand getting rid of that, but then they're like, oh, everyone likes the revolver because of how classic it is. Nerfed.
The revolver wasn't even that good.
No. As a revolver enjoyer in video games, you do not nerf a revolver ever. I don't care how good or shitty it is. Never nerf a revolver.
Is
How
supposed to make
dare
up for
you?
the slow reload speed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, does it make any sense? No. Is it really fucking cool to pull out a revolver and like blow apart an enemy? Yes. That's why you do it. And yeah, they nerfed it. They just keep nerfing everything. It's like, oh, this gun's doing too good. It has a 20% higher pick rate than other guns. Nerfed. You're not playing the game the way we want you to. Nerfed.
So it's the Blizzard problem.
But fire damage is doing 8 times the damage it's supposed to? We're gonna leave that in for a few months.
And then remove it right before the fire damage warbond. Yep. That's what the latest patch just did. They nerfed fire damage. They finally fixed it, so now so basically before this patch, everyone but the host didn't do fire damage. They did impact damage. And the enemies would not burn. So, if anyone but the host tried to use fire damage, it wouldn't work. They finally fixed it with this patch. In time for the fire damage warbond. AKA Battle Pass. And
that doesn't seem suspicious at all.
Except they also just nerfed the non-Battle Pass flamethrower.
That's not suspicious at all.
Guys.
Hey, what was that? What was that about them not turning heel? Someone in this group who insisted they would never do that.
That
seems like a heel turn to me. No, not you.
Oh.
No, someone else.
Yeah,
He
every
knows who he
indication
is.
they'd given up to that point indicated they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, no, it's just
Like Max, they went full asshole mode. That's why I don't play the game anymore. That's why I don't give them my money.
I never gave them my money.
But again, it's just certain people, not even just you and my other friend group, were insistent they would never do anything horrible, despite me calling out, I think, 2 or 3 practices immediately that were suspicious compared to the first game.
I mean, like, some of them I can understand. Like, Sony is retarded, so them doing this whole M-Protect shit, I get it. They got bought out by Sony. Sony says you have to put it in. They have to put it in. That's just the way it is. Sony says, hey, you got to make a war bond every month.
Well, no, did they give us an answer on who chose M-Protect? Because I never found out. Was it Sony telling them they had to do it, or was that an in-house decision without Sony's input?
Yeah, it was Sony.
Sony's used M-Protect in the past.
Have they? I mean, it sounds like a thing Sony would do, because Sony is
dog shit and doesn't know how to win.
Questionable.
Literally, this is why I hate Sony fanboys, right? Because it's like, oh, Sony's better. They have, like, better games and all this stuff. It's like, no, Sony's not better. Xbox was just more retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there watching them make the Xbox One, or the Xbox S, whatever it was. I was sitting in my, this is going to make me sad, I was sitting in my high school's computer lab. Curse of ages on all of you, right? And I was sitting there, right? Because they dominated the 360 generation. And I was like, all Microsoft has to do is not be retarded. And I was watching the entire presentation, and I was like, they couldn't manage it.
Yeah.
They couldn't manage.
The joke for the longest time was, Lamau, PlayStation 3, you mean the Netflix device? Because there was no games for the PlayStation 3. And
there were a lot that came out right on launch. Infamous and Prototype being 2 of the best.
Joke,
also the Saboteur.
Your head, whoosh.
Way over, yes, I got it.
Jesus Christ, are you fucking a stunty too?
Huh?
You're fat and short.
I've never heard that term. No.
Anyway.
Point being is that, all Microsoft had to do was not be retarded, and they were going to continue beating Sony. And then they're like, hey, but what if we just drove this really nice car off of a cliff? And it's just like, wow, okay, well, what's Sony gonna do in response? Oh, they're still eating glue. All right.
No, they at least
Yeah.
had the presence of mind to make a few witty jokes, and that was enough.
So
Yeah.
they moved up from
Yeah.
glue to crayons.
They started flavoring the glue with crayons.
Uh-huh.
Sony hasn't stopped eating glue.
Probably tripled in that after moving the gaming headquarters to California.
Yeah,
Oh
probably.
yeah, no
Like
kidding.
idiots.
Yeah. But yeah, so it is what it is, and they've ruined Helldivers 2 pretty thoroughly. They constantly nerf anything that's fun.
Is it the same balance guy, by the way? Did they not
same
replace
balance
him?
guy. Yep, nope, he has
Really?
not been replaced. Yep.
How? Maybe before the CEO stepped down, he should have been like, "Hey,
Get the
you're
fuck
on
out.
this other team now.
Yeah.
Stop.
Maybe, yeah.
Stop
Well,
making
yeah.
things
Fired.
worse after the PSN account controversy. You fucking shit."
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't understand this shit. I don't understand this shit at all. I mean, I swear,
Like, I
people
don't
should fucking
understand,
hire
because, like,
me.
Kinda tank
the
it on purpose.
CEO was not an asshole,
Yeah,
and
He seemed to be the only redeeming quality of what was happening
yeah.
at Arrowhead for the last, 8 months.
Well, the problem is from what I've been able to tell so far, is that a large majority of the Helldivers 1 team has moved on.
Oh, isn't that a shock?
Yeah. So, and he's like pretty much the only person left because Helldiver was his baby, which is how he ended up in the CEO position, as far as I'm aware, because like everyone else left. So,
Oof.
by sheer dint of being the only one left, he became CEO.
And he stepped down because it wasn't his cup of tea, and he wanted to stick with
Game
was it
design.
art direction,
No, creative direction.
creative direction. He wanted to keep a more hands-on approach with the game, ironically, weakening his power over the game by doing so.
Yes.
At least as a CEO, the only person he answered to was Sony in regards to game changes.
Yes.
Now he answers to at least one other person
Was it
who will
Arrowhead?
probably
who
listen
stole-
to him.
Was
Uh,
what?
Who sold Helldivers to Sony, or was it the entire company that sold?
The
Arrowhead.
Arrowhead sold Helldivers to Sony because
my-
they needed
Okay.
the startup fund to
Yeah,
produce the game.
My understanding was they went to Sony and said, "We have an idea. Here's a prototype,
Yeah.
and we'll sell you the IP in exchange for giving us the money to
And
make
to be fair to
the final
them,
product."
it worked out great for Helldivers 1. It was a niche hit. They made way more money than they spent making it. And it was great. And people liked it. And they're like, okay, we're gonna make the second one. And they did a whole Risk of Rain moment where they went from a isometric gameplay style to a third person over the shoulder, and that was a great decision as well. And Sony gave them plenty of time to make the fucking game, and the game came out and it was good. And then they just went downhill from there.
So Arrowhead still exists and is independent as their own company. It's just that Sony calls the shots where Helldivers 2 is concerned.
It's their only IP is owned by Sony.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Sony has them by the short and curlies.
Yeah, basically. So.
Yep, sucks to suck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Remember, if you're going to sell your IP to a company to get the money for it, maybe include a clause of after 5 years we get it back, no matter what.
Or we retain creative direction and you don't get to make bullshit calls.
Well, no. See, the problem with
Well,
all of that
like,
is that the creative
we retain
direction.
creative direction wouldn't have helped them because,
Yeah.
No,
like,
it
you have to
wouldn't.
put in end protect isn't a creative direction.
Yeah.
I want a source on that, by the way. I want to know who threw Sony under the bus on that, because Peter Lindgren, I think, was the one who said we picked it after several meetings, making it seem like it was an in-house choice.
Well,
It sounds like they were just forced to pick something.
yeah, they were
anything, but you
forced to
had to
pick
pick something.
something. Yeah.
Okay, then they should have gone with one of the more trustworthy ones then. Sony telling them you have to have an anti-cheat is different from Sony telling them it
Well,
has to be in Protect.
Keep in mind that Sony isn't funding them. They sold their IP to Sony for lump sum.
Oh, they did this too. Oh, God.
They're not even getting royalties then.
I'm sorry. This was like
Well,
2014,
I
right?
assume they
2013?
are, but
Like,
yeah.
holy sh! I'm sorry. I get that was sort of a weird, like, transition era for the gaming industry, was in that, like, 3 to 4 year time span. But holy shit, guys. We saw what happened with certain comic franchises that sold rights to movie companies. You should have learned a
That's a
lesson
mistake.
there.
Well, no, he's saying it goes back way further than comic. It goes back way further than comic, like the comic
Yeah,
movies,
okay,
right?
but the comic movies are the most relevant and
Well,
largest example of this at the time.
what it really
Well, no, the
comes
most
down to at
relevant
the
and
end of the
largest
day,
example isn't the comic book movies. It's the people who made comic books, like the guy. Because remember, the guys who originally made stuff like Spider-Man, etc. They created those characters wholesale for those companies and then sold those companies the rights, and then they didn't have things like royalties. And people had been on and on and on about how comic creators were dicked over by comic companies for years at that point, and people who make video games should have been at least peripherally aware of what happened to the likes of Steve Ditko.
Like,
No,
maybe I shouldn't repeat the
I
Ditko
don't
mistake.
know about that one. I actually don't see, even back in 06 and 08, there wasn't a lot of crossover between people who played games as their main hobby and people who read comics as a hobby. There's not as much crossover as you would think, even during that time.
So what it really comes down to, though, no matter the medium, is that at the end of the day, a lot of the people who are creatives don't understand economics or are desperate.
It's usually the second one.
Usually it's both. For example, a great example is The Witcher. CD Projekt Red bought the rights to make a Witcher game from the writer of The Witcher.
Oh, fucking Andrei Sapkowski, this fucking bitch.
For $1,500.
Oof.
To be clear, to be clear, we got to go back in time for this, right? This was in the 90s, and Mr. Sapkowski has always had an incredibly negative opinion of video games, and he looked at people trying to make the Witcher RPG, and he was like, his books were selling well, but they weren't that popular. And he thought video games were a flash in the pan, so he looked at them, and they offered him $1,500 or royalties, and he explained this in interviews over the years. He's like, these dumbasses will never go anywhere. I'm going to take my money. I'm going to get paid right now because they'll be out of business in 2 years, and I'll have nothing.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, he sold the rights to the video game.
And then he was a
for
fucking
nothing.
Bitch.
Yeah, then he got super fucking butthurt over them being successful and tried to sue them for more money. He's like, well, I didn't think they would succeed. It's like,
bro,
you fucking
retard.
To be clear, I want to be clear. He didn't try to sue them. He succeeded in suing them.
Oh, okay. Great.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold up. He succeeded?
He should be shot.
Because basically he tried to argue that in the contract he sold them to the rights for a Witcher game.
Singular, gotcha.
And then they made 2 and 3. And of course their argument was, no, our contract was basically Polish law basically said, you guys have made so much money off of this that you have to compensate him. And I'm like,
I would like to see the contract then, if that's really what the wording was.
And at that point, I would have just hired an assassin and killed him.
Interesting.
In Minecraft.
No, in real life.
Money, I guess.
If I made Witcher money off of a project and then the person I bought the idea from tried to come back and be like, I only sold it to you because I thought you would fail, I'd be like, that's cool. Hey, assassin, here's $10K. Fucking kill him.
Well, to be
Hire
clear,
Billings
I
Employee
only
of the
sold it
Month.
to them because I thought they would fail. He said that way before the lawsuit stuff ever happened.
I know, that's my point. His opinion didn't change. He just wants more money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it happened to the
that's-
Spider-Man people. It happened to Lucasfilms even. It happens to a bunch of people who think that there's no way this popular franchise could ever be more popular franchise. And so they sell
And
the
then it
rights
does.
to it for fucking pennies on the dollar because they just want the immediate profit. Or alternatively, if the person got say Spider-Man got sold to the company Marvel, and then Marvel's like, we're retarded, we need money now because we're retarded and we don't know how to make comics anymore, so they sold off permanently a bunch of their IPs instead of leasing them out
Yeah.
for
Okay.
some fucking
So
reason.
the TLDR here is when the Witcher video game was made, right? There was an interview in 2017 where he said, no, there won't be any profit. Give me all my money right now. There will be no amount. It was stupid. I was stupid enough to leave everything in their hands because I didn't believe in their success. But who could foresee their success? I couldn't. And to be clear, he sold them the rights to make games off all of his books. 1 year later, he released a letter claiming that they owed him $16 million in royalties. Their official statement to investors was that his stuff was groundless, blah, 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 blah. They basically left a little thing in there that we'd like to negotiate with him. There was a press release. They signed an agreement. We do not know what the agreement is. That was not released. It satisfies and clarifies the needs and expectations of both parties, past and present, and sets out a framework for future cooperation between the two sides. It applies not only to video games, but also to graphic novels, board games, and other associated merchandise.
Yeah, because he signed away his IP in full, effectively.
So
No,
they
he only
agreed to
signed it
pay
away
him
for video
royalties.
games. To be clear, he only signed it away to video games to them.
Okay.
Basically what they got out of this deal was they also got the right. They also
To
now they
everything
have
else.
everything. They have
Right.
everything else.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a good thing I'm not running things there because I'd have been like, yeah, I'll sign this agreement and then never make another Witcher thing ever. Because we got our money with the first 3
Ooh.
games.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, fuck
no.
you. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna hold
We
on
had-
to this IP forever, because
We had
fuck
a-
you.
Until you die.
Witcher 3 was such a perfect ending with multiple endings to it. It was such a good, like, final tip of the hat to the series.
Well, we know there's
Like,
going to be another sequel.
Or, it's like, good news, guys, new Witcher game, and it's just completely free. No microtransactions.
It's
Oh.
just fucking free.
20-hour single-player action RPG. Here you go, guys.
Always ask
is
for
all
royalties
not-
or
this-
selling a lease. Yeah, no, 100%.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does. Yeah, the fucking Matrix guys. This happened to the Matrix guys too, where they
What
sold their
fastest?
fucking manuscript for the Matrix for like $100 or some bullshit.
What?
Excuse me?
Oh yeah.
Is this the original manuscript? Like
Yeah,
when
the
they were trying to
original.
pitch it?
Yeah.
Oh, so not.
Yeah.
This is
it
the
just-
Wachowskis, right?
Yeah. No, this is the people before the Wachowskis, or
Oh,
basically-
okay. So the people who handed them a fucking
Yeah.
silver platter.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So all that fame that they got for creating the Matrix is actually due to someone else's hard work.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they probably had
well-
their own level of input into it, but yeah,
The
We've
Wachowskis had a
seen
lot
the
of cool
Matrix 2 and 3
visuals.
and 4.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that the first Matrix had a lot
as
of really
far
cool
as I
visual
was
stuff
aware,
going
the
on.
Wachowskis were against sequels to the Matrix.
Yes.
That tracks with what I've heard about them.
Yeah. So the problem was, again, is they went on to sell their version of the manuscript to a company to get the money to produce it. And then the company was like, wow, that did great, guys. they also they actually smartly asked for royalties as far as I'm aware. But they're like, hey, yeah, so we still own the IP, but we're required to make you the directors for it because of our contract. So we're telling you that you're making a second and third one. It's like, yeah. So that is the downside to some of that shit. You get the creative types are very bad at monetary understanding, and typically the people they sell the property to are very bad at predictive understanding. That is to say, they sold off the rights to a comic book to make a movie, and then the company that now owns that IP for the movie doesn't know how to actually make their own content with that IP, and so they just keep remaking different popular versions of the comic book because they have no idea how to actually capitalize on the IP. Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Everybody wants to do their own version.
So it's yeah, I understand that people can't be like multidisciplined usually, but like if you're trying to write a movie, well, I mean, yes, but also if you're trying to write a movie, like if you're going out and you're like, I have this book manuscript and I want to publish it, maybe, before you walk into the interview with the publisher, you look up publishing?
No.
Or you consult a lawyer.
I mean, you don't have to consult a fucking lawyer. I mean, even way back in the day before the internet, it was like, hey, I'm just gonna walk into this random publishing house and see what kind of offers they give me. This isn't the publishing house I want. I just want to see how this is back and forth is gonna go. So when I go to the people I want to go to, I can get a better deal. I'm not saying like you gotta do fucking like 80 hours straight of studying to get the best deal. I'm just saying, like, be familiar with what the fuck you're doing before you go off and sell off your life's work so you end up earning basically pittance for it. Like, it's just, it just baffles me how sometimes people can just be like, yeah, I've never purchased a car before, but now I'm just going to walk into a dealership with no idea how cars are purchased. Tell the dealer, I have no idea how cars are purchased, and then ask them to give me a car to purchase. And then be baffled when I have to pay $120,000 for a car.
Oh, I guess cars just cost $120,000.
Yeah, I guess I just have to take a loan out for this. Damn, that sucks. Meanwhile, I walked off the fucking dealership with a factory new Subaru for $18,000 because I browbeat the dealer into basically giving it to me for factory price.
How long ago was that?
2012.
Oh, yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one of the I forget what it was, but it was obviously a video from TikTok, but I didn't watch it on TikTok. I forgot where. But it's some girl who she's got a friend who's a girl. I don't know if it was a girlfriend or not, or just a friend who's a girl, right? Who obviously knows a lot about cars,
right?
And she's like, yeah, I got my oil changed. She's like, wait, why did you go get your oil changed? You didn't need your oil changed. I changed your oil last time. And she's like, she's like, I just needed to get it done. You weren't around.
That's a TikTok prank joke thing. I know exactly which one you're talking about. That was fake.
Oh, damn. I was hoping.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Well, no, I mean, I know it was a
$500
prank. I know it was a
premium
prank. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was a prank because they were clearly, obviously trying to wind their friend up.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's stuff
But
like,
no,
yeah,
it is
like $600,
unfortunately
stuff
like
that.
very. I have had to in the past verify, and I've had to start doing this because I took my car when I was up in Vermont. I took my car to a dealership, not a dealership, a local repair shop to get some stuff fixed on my car because it had cracks in the tire and crap like that, right? And I took it to that specific place because that's where the company I worked for took all of their trucks to get fixed. So I figured, hey, if my fucking penny pincher company is willing to go here, they must be at least decent, right?
Wrong.
They kind of fucked me over a little bit, yeah. And lesson learned. But yeah, ever since then, I've been very, very picky about what they're charging me for and how much they're charging me and what they say it is. I heard most book publishers are asking now for the rights for everything, including theme parks, due to Harry Potter success. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, fuck off.
I wouldn't be surprised, but again, this comes down to what's known as knowing your worth. Where, yeah, you can literally just tell the book publisher, fuck off, you can publish my book, and that is all you're getting, and you should be happy I'm even giving you the right to publish my book.
Because I could just go to Amazon, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Well, Amazon's the same way, actually. If you want to put your book on the Kindle, they do make you sign publishing agreements as well.
Oh, damn.
But what ended up happening for Beware of Chicken is the reason why it's still on Kindle Unlimited and why he hasn't taken it off that yet is because he was like, hey, yeah, so if I don't earn enough money from this, I'm just going to take it off after the end of the contract period. Because basically what you can do when you're publishing to Kindle is you can agree to the publishing contract Amazon presents to you, or you can go with the Kindle Unlimited contract, which effectively is that your book will be featured for free on Kindle Unlimited for an X period of time. You will get X level of profit, and it's fucking pennies. We're talking literally 100 people download your book, you get 10 cents.
Jesus.
But that's per month, right? They calculate it out by the month, and as long as those people have the book downloaded, that's your book number or whatever the fuck. It's a bunch of stupid shit.
Yeah, everything I've heard says KU is a scam.
It is, unless you hit it big. If you hit it big, Amazon comes back to you and goes, hey, we want to keep you on Kindle Unlimited, so we're going to pay you 80 cents instead of 10 cents.
And what would I be getting if I were doing it through the normal Kindle process?
Oh, see, that's the thing, is after the Kindle contract is up, the Kindle Unlimited contract is up, apparently you just get 100% of the profits from then on. But apparently the Kindle Unlimited profits was so good because Amazon kept giving him better contracts, was that he didn't feel the need to take it off Kindle Unlimited.
Fair.
Yeah, so it's about knowing your worth. Now this is people are going to say sexist, but it is what it is. It's an established fact. A lot of women have issues pushing this sort of thing.
The negotiation thing.
Yeah, the negotiation thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, and I believe it or not, Sneaky is correct. There has been a lot of research done on this. Part of it is, I think of how to say this carefully. Right, it's a set of societal factors, right? Because up until very recently, right, women have been told you need to be quiet. Women should be seen, not heard. Children should be seen, not heard. Women shouldn't be pushy. They shouldn't be aggressive, etc., etc., etc. Right?
Well, I mean, it's also from an evolutionary basis of women
I
not
was going to
being
get
the
to. I'm
ones to
just
rock
saying,
the
right? I
boat.
wanted to
Yeah,
establish the fact that there's a set of underlying societal factors.
which come from evolution.
Okay, the problem with that is that we haven't been like that since the 70s or 80s, right? We are well
Again,
outside of that. We've got multiple
because it comes from
generations.
evolution, it's kind of hard to shake off because
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
don't really
but
evolve
Just
that much
because it
anymore.
hasn't been active, first of all, like, right, there's still people alive and working who were
True.
subjected to that. Like, so we haven't
Sure.
done it since the 70s and 80s doesn't mean shit because there's still people alive who were subjected to that. And more importantly, those people certainly had time to have children and subject their children to that.
Yeah.
But, and then this is the other thing, right? Women are generally speaking less aggressive, right? Yes, exceptions exist. Yes, da 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 da. On a general level,
Yeah, less
women
willing
are
to be
less aggressive,
confrontive,
less aggressive than men, less confrontational. Which, when you combine that with a set of underlying societal factors that were pushed for hundreds of years, thousands of years.
Well, not only that, it's also a reverse pressure as well from the corporation standpoint. Of the corporation wants you to just accept whatever piss ass raise they're giving you and not
Yeah.
complain, and you don't want to lose your job if you do complain.
Yeah, I would say, right, and that combined with a different set of factors, all
Yeah.
of those factors came from, big, like literally big corporation. Insert whatever name you choose to hear,
Cyprop.
right?
Yeah.
Those corporations were again pushing that because the goal was to make you, right, give it. Like, for instance, don't ever let a corporation be, you shouldn't discuss the amount of money you make with somebody. That's vulgar. Nah, fuck that. Talk about your salary with every coworker. Find out what they're getting paid. Find out what you're getting paid.
I mean, that's
Compare.
exactly what I
their
fucking
experience
did.
is.
I talked around. I got some people to open up to me about what they were getting paid, and I went to my fucking employer and I said, "Hey, look, you give me at least, X amount more, or else I'm leaving." And they're like, "Well, how about we split it into 2 parts and we can see where we go from there?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm listening." And they're like, "Okay, so what if we only increase your salary by 30%? It's like, okay, we're getting to a good start here. And I gave the same advice to one of my coworkers because his whole thing was coming up recently, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you a 1% raise," and he was complaining to me about how little that was, and I was like, "Well, just tell him you'll quit. Just be serious about it, and then follow through on it." That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people fucking kind of miss out on is you can only threaten to quit without quitting once. Then they kind of know that you threatening to quit doesn't mean anything. And so you just got to really sell them that, yes, you will actually quit. And again, this also only works if you're actually a contributing member to the team and your manager knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think having a physical resignation letter in your hand for the meeting, like, well, what are you going to do if we don't give you a higher raise? And you just hand them, it's like, this is what happens.
Here's
here's my 2-week notice, and I'm taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
I'm not coming in.
No, never give them 2 weeks notice. Just leave on the spot. I will claim that 2 weeks.
No.
What
you? No. Well, no. Most of the times you can't because these days a lot of times the hours have to be earned before you can take them off. Otherwise, they'll just garnish your paycheck.
Yeah.
What you do is most states allow for 10 work days of unpaid leave. And so what you do is you give them your 2-week notice, you take 10 days of unpaid work leave, and then at the end, if they don't give you an offer to stay, then you say bye, and you don't show up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they can't garnish your wages because you didn't work.
What are you going to garnish? You didn't pay me. To be clear, that particular bit of contract negotiate that does change if you're like a salaried employee.
What, the days off?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, those are
no,
guaranteed in advance.
nope.
No, that's depending
No,
on the
they are not.
company.
That's
Well,
very
okay, yeah.
company dependent these days. That is
Yeah.
not a guarantee with salary.
It's extremely company dependent. Like the company I was at, they would give us the PTO at the start of every year. None of it rolled over though, and you can only be paid up to 3 days of unused PTO, which is an awful way to handle that.
That's terrible, yeah.
Yes.
And coming from a school system where it's like, oh yeah, no, your PTO rolls over. It's like, oh.
Yeah,
And
no,
every
my PTO rolls over as well. What's really great is that my company offers a, and if your company offers this as well, this is great life advice. So everyone note this down. If your company offers the ability to get PTO instead of overtime pay, fucking take it.
Yeah.
Always.
Because it converts at the same rate. So if you worked 6 hours of overtime, you get like 9 hours of PTO, which is a whole fucking day that you can just take off now.
Yeah, no, flex time. Flex time is oftentimes more worth it than overtime pay.
Because most of the time, for how it was in Vermont, at least for me, is that if we worked, we would only get taxed normally on the first 20 hours of overtime, and then if you worked over 20 hours of overtime, they would tax you at like an 80% rate. And I think in New Jersey it was like 10 hours when I was working here.
Oh yeah, overtime being taxed so much heavier is like, wow, fuck you. This makes no sense.
Well, yeah, no, it does make sense. It's there specifically to fuck people who try to make extra money.
Gotta
Yeah.
keep
The
the poor
goal is
poor.
for you to be poor.
Yeah, the goal is for you to be
Yeah.
poor. That's the goal of all taxation.
If your company offers flex time instead of if your company gives you the choice between the two, take the
Mhm.
flex time.
Absolutely.
Mostly because you know what's better than getting time and a half?
Getting
Having
to take
extra
a full day
time.
off.
Well, getting to having that extra day to recharge, because holy shit, mental health is so much more difficult to deal with these days.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
also,
but
Society's just fucked.
I mean, it's just convenient because it's like, oh man, I can't come in now because I'm sick and I'm shitting my guts out, but I don't have any PTO left, so now I have to get unpaid time off, and that fucking sucks shit. And you only have so many days of that per year, and that's not flexible at all. And you know, it's a whole fucking shit show of things. And it's just take the PTO, call the fuck off, and just don't go in. Oh, I don't feel great today. Not feeling the vibe. Call off.
that's if you get any UTO at all.
You do.
No.
You are required by law to have, I believe,
Yeah,
10 days
apparently
of
my-
guarantee UTO.
Yeah.
Nope.
You-
Apparently, my
you
previous
literally
company.
No, bro, it is
It's not a way to
the
do it.
law.
It's literally
as of,
illegal to not have unpaid time off.
And they certainly fucking lied about that because I was.
Yeah, of
told
course they did.
explicitly-
Companies lie all the
Well,
time.
hang
Wow,
on.
company
Sign.
lied.
Is your company is it only in your state, or does it have multiple
No.
locations?
It was multiple
Oh,
locations, and it is
bro.
No,
worldwide.
how many
yeah.
employees does it have? That's the real question.
If it's-
Over 100 in the one.
Oh,
plant
yeah, no,
that
And
that's
it
I
is
absolutely
worked.
required
fucked,
to,
yeah,
to,
well
to
more.
subscribe to
Yeah,
federal
no.
law. Like, I don't know what to tell you there, man.
So
Yeah.
They
take
It's
lied
over
and you're-
50,
contracts.
it's 2 states
Bro.
are over 50 employees, I believe.
Your company is being run by a bunch of would-be felons.
I mean-
How long ago-
Fucking Lee.
Is this a company you currently work for? Or you used to
No.
work for?
I quit them like 2 years ago.
Oh, bro,
You know,
you can
I think you
absolutely
might
still make
be
a complaint.
within. Yeah,
Report them. Still report them, bro.
I think you might actually be able to make a damages complaint.
Just
Yeah.
like, hey, I just thought, I know it's been 2 years, but I just thought about you guys. Here's your present.
I
As
just
you present them,
realized
glowy.
how much I fucking hate you.
And get this shit. So when I was legitimately sick, right? My boss explicitly told me, if you need to take a day off, you need to go to the doctor and bring me a doctor's note. Louisiana law on the other hand, explicitly states, "Go fuck yourself." The employee always has 3 days they can take off unpaid before they had to provide any kind of a doctor's note, and they didn't want to honor that system,
Well,
like at
that's
all.
what's well, that's tough shit for
Huh.
them. And as I've told my bosses, and they've found out really fucking quick, is I don't fuck around, and they will find out really quick. If they think I'm joking when I'm like, hey, I'm taking this week off, and they're like, actually, we need you now. I'm like, that's funny. I'm still taking the week off.
Yeah. That's remember, watchers, when you're going for a job, know your labor laws as best you can. Like,
Hey,
and
buddy.
I could have raised a fucking stink when I was let go, because
You could
I
have, yeah.
found out a couple days after. You know what Georgia law has in it that's very interesting for when you're leaving a company, whether it's voluntary or involuntary.
Severance
Mhm.
pay.
I can demand my pay right then and there in cash, and if they don't
Oh,
honor it,
right.
I get to call the sheriff, and now I get to report the company for wage theft
Yeah,
if
I
they
remember that.
refuse. I wish I'd known that, because I'd just been like, I'm gonna make this easy. All you have to do is write me a check, but I want it before I walk out that door, or I call the police.
Yeah. Well, Tim Pool has his own story about it where he found out that the company was garnishing his wages and trying to make it seem like they weren't. And
Oh,
when
they
he
were
Yeah,
cooking
by
the
the way,
books.
remember, folks, always do
Yeah.
your own paycheck math.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I do. I constantly fucking do. I'm always fucking sitting there. I got a new paycheck. I'm like, okay, let's calculate this shit out. I am always fucking on top of that shit because I will not tolerate that fucking shit. But yeah, no, he was sitting there doing his fucking paycheck math, and he's like, wait a sec, this isn't right. And he looks at his friend's paychecks, and he's like, that ain't right either. And he confronts the manager about it, and they're like, oh, we'll fix it. He's like, great, okay. And then they didn't, and he's like, all right, well, you guys didn't fix it now, so now we get to the fun Chicago part of law enforcement.
Oh
Oh
no.
no!
You pay me or else.
Oh no!
Or else what? Please, Razor Mind.
The boys will come visit. Look, I know some guys, okay? You like having knees, right?
I
I
didn't
know
know
a
that. Oh
multitude-
yeah, no, it is very important, LeMay. You always got to figure out your local labor laws. If some companies will try and do some funky shit with your fucking paycheck, where when I was working for one company in Vermont, they tried to pay me partially in New York because their HQ was in New York, and technically I was responding to the security site from New York because their HQ was there. And so they were like, well, they were trying to pay me in New York dollars. And I was like, no.
Why would they
New
do
York's
that?
trying to fucking take some fucking tax out of that bullshit. That ain't fucking happening. You're paying me all in Vermont or else I'm leaving. And guess what?
Like,
My
that's
next
just more work
paycheck
for them.
was all in Vermont. Like, yeah, but they were trying to fucking shortchange me.
How could they even shortchange you? They'd only be shortchanging.
Because the minimum payment in
Everybody.
New York was different from Vermont.
Mm.
So I was like, that ain't not fucking happening. Either you pay me what you said you were going to pay me, or I fucking leave. And guess what? They started paying me what they said they were going to pay me. Because they knew I would leave. And you just
Yeah,
gotta,
well, I
gotta
was
be
gonna say,
fucking
to be
solid
clear,
about it.
I don't do. I was gonna say, doing paycheck math can depend on who your employer is, right? Because, like, for instance, my current employer is actually quite good, and doesn't dick people over. So I generally don't do that math anymore.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously, if you trust your employer and you haven't been fucked over for however long you've been working for them, then go for it. You don't have to do it every single time. But I do it every single time because my employer likes to report different hours for every pay period.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And there was a period of time after they said I would get a raise that I wasn't getting the raise. And I was like, hey, you guys said I would get the raise. This is the current employer, by the way. I was like, hey, you guys said I was going to get this raise during this pay period, and it's not there. And they said, whoops, our bad. I'm like, yeah, fix it. And they did. But who knows how long it would have gone on for if I didn't say it.
Until you noticed. And I'm guessing they didn't want to do any back pay.
Yeah, no back pay. They claimed they would,
Yep.
but I didn't get that in writing, so no back pay.
That's illegal.
Very.
Yeah, well, and it's not like I can do anything about it because it's a he said versus she said scenario.
Record that shit.
I mean, do you have it, like,
Can't in New Jersey.
anything?
It's a
Jersey.
two-person state. Yeah. But anyway, we're here for fan fiction, not the harsh reality of life. And what better to set apart ourselves from the harshest reality of life than RWBY, which certainly is not made by a failing company that encountered the harsh reality of life.
Oof. You gotta go that low?
They were already there. I just had to bend over to pick it up. The Three Unifiers. A tragedy romance story of the RWBY section. Jeanne d'Arc, the man who fell through time. Weiss Schnee, the heiress who remembered who she was. And Pyranikos, a hapless child who died for nothing. The blacksmith conjured of steel, a collector with a purpose and goals far beyond the comprehension of man, who will use her three pawns as she sees fit, no matter the thought of the other players on the board. So, I hate this already because the blacksmith isn't a collector. This is the Season 9 lore. That was mostly dog shit, to be honest. The blacksmith isn't the collector, they are the forger. They create ideas. Every idea, specifically weapons in this case, was created by them. Ruby's scythe was invented by the blacksmith before entering Ruby's head to be made by Ruby. That's
sure
how
the
they
lore
made
is
the
that-
lore.
No, hang on. I'm pretty sure the lore is that they don't just create the weapon, they create the wielder too. That's why she could offer to make
possibly, yeah.
Ruby whoever she picked up a weapon
Yeah, because
for.
she'll
Like, she could become
reforge
her
Ruby
mom.
into that person, yeah.
Yeah, she
Which
would become her own
honestly
mom
would
at
have
that
been
point.
a totally cool moment. But whatever. Could have
Then she
had
winds
cool
up back
shit.
there and she's like, well, shit.
You know what I would have loved? I would have loved if she picked up Pyrrha's weapon.
Oh, you
Yep.
like picking up the banner, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think Pierre's weapon showed up in that, which it probably should have.
Yeah, it did it. It really should have,
They
but
didn't
it
put
did
that.
it. Yeah.
The way they wanted us to believe it, Pierre is absolutely someone Ruby would have looked up to as a friend.
Well, you know,
It's-
except for all those parts where we were never shown them being really friends.
Oh, I know, but they wanted us to believe they were friends, even though
Yeah,
they
I
didn't.
know.
Justice, guys, it totally happened off screen.
Guys,
They
yeah,
didn't
they,
even-
they made
they-
out off screen.
They didn't even do a good job of tell instead of show. So,
Yeah, yeah, you know, it was bad. It was bad. We know, you know, we all know.
Except RT, they don't know shit.
Yeah, well, you know. All right, so let's see how bad the narrative of the story is. Okay, so we'll do a little snippet because this chapter is pretty friggin' long. I mean, we're looking at roughly 8K words per chapter, which is pretty meaty. The boy stayed still once, made home for himself in eclectic little village of colored paper people that seem to fall into a routine of
you
near
can't just
suicidal
say that.
action.
He did.
He hit him with the hard R.
We don't use those terms anymore, Sneaky.
Through inadequacy and idiocy, all while showing a clear want to be reincarnated to die, the boy would stop them every time, every day. He'd make them carry rocks so they didn't blow off in the wind, push them away from water at all costs, prevent them from standing near the dam, prevent fires or anything else that could produce enough of a spark to ignite the whole village within moments, preventing the construction beyond 30 feet high, where the wind torrents would get... By the way, this is still one sentence. Where the wind torrents would get too strong for the rocks to keep them down to the ground, so many other policies of protection. And that's not even to mention the individual policies of each paper person. Like, bro, like, really? That entire thing was a whole 2 sentences. Jesus Christ.
You sure? I'm pretty sure I heard a paragraph in there.
Yeah, you did hear a paragraph in there. 2 sentences. Yeah, so it's just kind of like, okay, so it's just recapping Volume 9, and then it goes into some crappy stuff, and then whatever, he was wandering, he was malleable, and the blacksmith would forge him. Okay, so it's like trying to portray the blacksmith as evil. Whatever, I'm fucking moving on, that's lame. Blacksmith literally is the opposite of evil.
The
I
blacksmith
thought the
may
blacksmith was...
be the fairest character in that entire fucking land. How do you make that out to be evil?
like
She's evil.
completely neutral.
Yeah. The only true neutral character in the series. The blacksmith only deals with ascensions in the ever after. Yes, the blacksmith only deals with reincarnation in the ever after. However, she acquired every single weapon, and they also mentioned her forging the weapons, which means that she had to have created those weapons if she's forging them all, which means she has access to those fucking souls somehow, Aura. I mean, the wiki can say what it fucking wants. They're wrong.
Well, hang on. It could be Unlimited Blade Works on steroids, to be fair.
God damn it, I was just about to make a pun about that.
Okay, but if it was Unlimited Blade Works on steroids, that still means she had to have seen the souls at some point to acquire them, their memories, and their weapon.
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't... Okay, there might be a breakdown in communication. Are you saying she created the weapons before the creators made them, or she created them as she acquired the souls? Because...
Before.
No, canonically, she made them before the creators
Yeah,
were made.
canonically, she made
She
them
makes
before.
the weapon and the person. The person is born and then creates the physical weapon, but she made the spiritual version of the weapon.
Well, we don't know
I'm
about the
gonna-
person part,
Okay.
but we do
I'm
know
gonna
about
have
the
to
weapon part.
I'm gonna have to rewatch that bit, which is weird to say because I don't mind the idea of rewatching that part of Volume 9.
That was a pretty good part, yeah.
D-
No, but specifically, I don't know about the person part. I don't know where Sign's pulling that from. But specifically, we watched her forge blades in one episode. And when Ruby went to go buy one, she's like, "You made all these?" And she goes, "Yeah, I made all these." And then later on, we see a bunch of those blades in the Tree of Ascension, and the blacksmith is like, "Pick one, I'll turn you into that person. You can be someone else." Which means if she made all those blades, which are actually people, she at minimum forged the idea of that weapon.
I also don't think she meant I'll make you into that person here and now, and you can continue on in the future. I think
No, it literally
again, I
was
don't
here and
exactly
now.
have proof.
It was quite literally instant reincarnation as that person.
yes,
that was-
instant
that was
reincarnation
that-
as that person.
Yeah, well, that was the heavy implication with the conversation.
But I think the implication was as that person during their time. So if she picked Summer, for instance, she would become Summer during Summer's time in school and time loop herself into becoming her own mother.
Um,
No, I feel like it would have been a complete restructure of personality, like bare minimum. At most, suddenly Summer Rose is alive and well in the Ever After, and Yang's very fucking confused as to where her mom just came from.
yeah, you can put any one of them on and leave Ruby behind. Yeah, no, she'll quite literally instant reincarnation.
Yes. But I'm
And-
saying
and not-
where
no,
she'd go after that.
Right, but she would end up still in the Ever After. The tree doesn't lead you out of Ever After. The portal does. So if she got reincarnated as, say, her mom, she would be her mom hatching from the fucking tree statue, not Ruby. More of the leaves blow by Ruby. She said, it's also heavy. The only thing is, it never goes away, feeling not being enough. And what would you measure as enough? The axe-like weapon. Man, that could have been such a fucking cool moment.
And yes, but no.
It turns out that Jean Arc is actually Tai Yang, who got aged.
Oh no. Although what we did get with Weiss and the whole her looking at him and going, "Oh, daddy," was kind of great.
That was silly, yes.
That was hilarious.
But yeah, Rooster
Somebody
Teeth
got
just
daddy
really has no fucking idea what they're doing with their lore. The wiki has no idea what they're doing with the lore. The wiki's just flat out wrong. Like, I'm gonna be like, look, the wiki is not being maintained by Rooster Teeth. It's being maintained by fans. And the
Obviously.
wikis tend to be right, but sometimes they can be hilariously wrong. Like, what was it, Max? There's that one fucking wiki entry that was like, for 3 years, something about being immune to holy damage if you used it. Or lightning damage or something like that. Like there was a wiki entry that was wrong for like 3 years. About
do you
like
remember
lightning or holy damage.
Do you remember what series?
It was either like Elden Ring or like Monster Hunter.
Or could have been either or.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember
Fextra
that.
Lives.
That was Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
The Elden,
Fextra
but
Life and
right.
it was
The
Ring.
Elden Beast was immune to holy damage. That was the claim the wiki made.
I assume
wait,
he was, in fact, not immune.
Because
He was not immune.
Like it deals holy damage, therefore it's immune to it.
No, it takes holy damage.
No, I don't use a holy build.
Yeah, it takes holy damage.
Oh, okay.
But for 3 years, that was on the wiki. And it had no substantiation to it. It was just some fucking thing that someone made up because they're like, oh, well, the holy magic comes from the Elden Beast, so therefore it's immune to holy magic. It fucking wasn't. Kubo hates his wiki because they hold him to his true, even though he gives so many vague answers. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's just really like, I mean, giving vague answers is peak authorial power, because you should, behind the scenes, have as much exacting detail as you want to have, but the amount of detail you give the audience should always be vague, because that always gives you flexibility later, especially if you are going from the outset with the idea that you're going to be writing more than one book for whatever you're writing for. It's very important to give yourself room.
Me telling my readers that a wizard did it.
Shitty wizard.
Shitty wizard.
Lavender Rare is a menace. Oh God, how is this still going on? How many years?
This has been months now.
It's been like 2 years.
Why is it still going?
What's going
God
on?
hates
Okay, so there in the Ruby section, there is a feud between a couple of Ruby authors who have deleted all of their stories and constantly delete and repost a new story that specifically is just a rant post about the other author and how they're awful, or they're lying about me, or they're threatening me, or someone showed up to my door with a bomb, or they raped children, or and every single time one of them posts, the accusations of what the other did become more and more extreme. Yeah, we've stumbled onto them about 4 to 5 times now.
Oh, right. That shit.
And because they are a new story, that means the 4 to 5 times we've stumbled on them, that means there is a continuation. It just keeps getting worse. Lavender Rare now either wants to kill me or wants me dead.
They want to kill me and rape my corpse with a sock.
She
that's a very
also
specific
doesn't
accusation.
mind that several people harass me and tell me to kill myself. Lavender Rare also thinks that her sending me messages about gouging my eyes out with a knife is just a joke. Jesus Christ.
They threatened to kill me, threatened to burn down my crops, killed my mother, and fucking raped my dog. Wait, really? No, but are we gonna let them?
Bro,
She
you
is
can
a sick
report all that
prick
shit.
who thinks death threats are a joke. Someone said that hopefully we can get rid of this guy for good.
Like, you
I think
can
it
report
is-
private messages.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is also worth knowing. Telling someone to gouge their eyes out is not a death threat, but it is disgusting.
Nobody
How is
fucking
this still
cares anymore, bro.
going?
Just go to another category.
Post innocuous
Neither
story.
of them can
Someone
spell.
told
Oh,
me to
I-
I appreciate Anon9 being like, all this will do is start a witch hunt. My dude, this has been going on for like eight
This
to
has
10
been
months now.
No one cares.
There is no witch hunt.
No one cares.
Somebody should make it their duty to just go and report this every time they post one of these things.
Well, that's what started it all, is that this person posted furry pedo porn for the Ruby Toho section.
Oh, that one.
Of fucking course it's Toho.
And then they got reported and their story got taken down and they fucking flipped their shit. And ever since then, these two people have just been going back and forth. Just absolutely just
Yeah, it's
unhinged.
getting ridiculous.
And neither of them
Also-
can let it go.
No.
Also, Sneaky, apparently, since the last time we looked at their page, they did try to write some sort of sequel, presumably to their first
discontinued it.
crossover.
Yeah, I saw that.
Discontinued it due to RT lawsuit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, somehow I feel like RT isn't suing you.
X to doubt.
Just wild speculation here.
We're gonna hit the X on this one.
RT lawsuit, how? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Rooster Teeth is suing me. Rooster Teeth isn't a company anymore. What do you want about?
Rooster Teeth is suing me. I mean, congratulations.
Never been
I can't
sued
believe
by
you're
a
being
corpse
sued-
before.
Not not even we had that issue when they just took down a stream that, according to their guidelines, was completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair,
Even
RT
notified
did
them
fuck
of
over
it.
some YouTubers. Like,
Oh, I know.
intentionally so.
Oh, I know. But, like, the thing is that we actually have a paper trail of us asking for permission and then them saying, yeah, sure, whatever the fuck, we don't care, just follow our guidelines.
Yeah, as long as it follows the guidelines. And we checked and we double checked. Like, yeah, no. Commentary over this stuff with slight changes to audio and video quality does technically fulfill these guidelines.
Yeah, so we slapped the
Got
banner
copyright
on
struck
it,
anyway.
reversed the video. Yeah. But,
Yeah, like we did the
yeah.
picture-in-picture. We reversed the video. We had commentary over the. Right, we would occasionally stop and be like, "We're going to play back this one part."
Yeah, that sounds like perfect fair use.
Yeah.
Now, we
they hit
didn't
us
put
for
the
it.
effort into that I did into the one episode of Anime Contempt Theater we had, but
That shit was funny.
yeah, that's what had me being like, wow. So this is the bullshit the high stakes YouTube editors do.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
no, I don't think you could pay me enough.
And you know, and that's why I did what I did with our channel art, where I just slapped some shit together. I was like, fuck, doing more effort than that.
That's why every gameplay thing we had was, all right, Sneaky, here's the cover
Googly
art. Right,
eyes.
here's the googly eyes.
Masterful art.
Yeah, you know, sadly, we should have just led the way for male VTubing, but we didn't have the
Yeah, you all shot me
quite
down.
enough foresight.
Yeah, I
Shot you
did.
down. None of us
You
even
shot me
knew.
down.
Don't give me that.
I tried it, and you all were like, "It looks awful, Sneaky. You're gonna lose us viewers if you do this." And I said, "Okay," so I turned it off.
That is not true at all.
That's exactly what happened. It happened in 2017. I bought the fucking VTubing program, and I had some fucking devil avatar that I bought the rights to. It was like $10. I don't fucking care.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
If it's the program I think it is, we didn't do it because it killed the bandwidth, not the channel.
That too.
I also
didn't say it
don't
would kill
recall
the
you ever
channel.
pull. I don't recall this ever coming up between you, me, and Atin before now. This is the first I'm actually hearing of this.
What do you mean? No,
Are
I
you
literally went
Are
on,
you sure
yeah.
I was there for that discussion?
I
You
really
might not have
don't
been.
remember that. Listen, I was about to be like, Max, do you remember this?
And
Here's
it
the
was,
thing,
it,
here's
was,
the thing.
it was like in the
I want
first
to point
year.
out. I want to point out, Sneaky.
First or second year.
I would have been on that train with you because I have one of those avatar programs
you
from
all
like
fucking
2013.
yeah, no. I mean, okay, I say you all. I don't know exactly who was there anymore, but the majority of the people in the call at the time when I pulled out the devil avatar for the VTubing software, everyone was like, "Oh, looks fucking stupid, Sneaky. You look stupid, Sneaky."
No,
Like,
man, I
okay,
think it would have
fucking
been
fine.
all. I think I would
I
have been all.
truly have
for
no
that.
memory of it. Like, I have no memory of this. Max has no memory of this. I don't think
Well,
it was
my
us.
receipts have memory of this because I have the fucking program bought, and I
We're
have
not
fucking
saying you
video
didn't
where-
buy the
Hang
program.
on. Which program?
face rig, face cam.
Face rig? Okay, Sneaky.
Yeah.
I would have been on that train with you because I bought Face rig within the first month of its launch in like 2014
But, like,
on Steam.
Sneaky, we're not
I
saying
would've
you
been down
didn't
for
buy the
that.
program. We're saying that you did not come to us with it.
No, I just started the stream with it on, and then you guys said it was stupid looking.
I have no memory of
I
this.
truly have no memory of
whatsoever.
this.
No. I'm gonna
Hey,
tell
if you want to pull it up now, go
it was
ahead.
well, yeah, it was like back when I was back in Florida. I'm too fucking late for that shit. Now,
Like-
now I'll just seem like a dick rider. I was trying to be avant-garde, cutting edge.
I don't remember that at all. And if you were inspired by anything, it probably would have been was it I think Kizuna I? Sounds about right for
No,
that time period.
I did it because no, because remember back in 2016, it was the end of the era of the PNG tuber. Of like all of the
Right.
skeptic people who used to have just like a fucking stationary PNG that would just represent them as they talked because they didn't want to show their face.
Not really, but
Oh.
sounds
I've
that
seen
sounds
them.
about right for when I stopped seeing skeptic YouTubers using PNGs for much of anything.
Hey, look, it's a random bot. Okay, So what we're not going to do is we're
What?
not going to ban the bot. So the bot stays in the channel, and it looks like that we have more people than we actually do. Megamind.
Can I please just ban the bot?
Yeah, just ban the
I'm
bot.
hovering over the button.
It's a fed. It's not a bot.
It's a bot.
Actually,
It's
wow,
bad.
this bot's been around for a while. Created May 28th, 2018. Damn. It's survived
fed.
several purges.
Probably because it has a realistic looking channel name.
That or it is a real channel that got hijacked by
Oh,
bots.
you know what?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's true. Yeah.
Maybe
Many
it's
such
been as
cases.
like, hey man, maybe check your login info. Oh yeah, no, they have a video from 6 years ago on PUBG Battlegrounds.
Oh, they
This was a
probably
legit
sold their
channel
channel
at
then.
one-
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably sold it.
218 followers, so probably half those were legit.
One new message. None of them wanted to get caught up in the normal high school drama. Oh god. A no powers high school drama AU. Wow,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I want from my Ruby story. Is no powers.
Maybe
Why?
they work in a coffee shop.
I genuinely don't understand the whole point of the no power bullshit.
Women.
I'm gonna go ahead and ignore that opinion because it's a generalization. Does anyone else have an answer that isn't that?
I'm fucking
Specifically
right.
People who don't want to put in the effort to imagine people who are more than they are.
Thank you for an answer. Both answers are correct. I just wanted to hear a different one.
That one's
I.e.
even more
women.
general than mine.
Shut up.
Untouchable. Being stranded in Remnant would be most fans' dreams. No, it wouldn't. I'm sorry.
What are
if
you on
know,
about?
If
Bro,
you're an
no.
actual fan of Ruby, being stranded on Remnant would be the
Oh.
last thing you would want to do.
You know, I love this because this is the same litmus test I can use for Warhammer fans. All right, which of you are actually psychos? Oh, I'd love to be
Who
there.
wants to live
Okay,
in-
found the
Who wants to
psycho.
live in the Warhammer Fantasy universe? Who wants to live in the Warhammer 40k universe? The answer is
No.
neither.
Okay, well, if I have to pick between one or the other, I think I just off myself. In all honesty.
No,
Me
no,
choosing-
because the worst part is even doing that doesn't keep you safe.
Oh, great.
Such is the power of Nagash.
That
True.
I think I'd take the
Or
fantasy. over
Or's got the right
40K.
idea.
No, what's Aura's idea?
Ah,
Stranded
just
on
read it.
Remnant as my boring, incompetent ass? Yeah, you're fucked, Aura.
Oh, so you're dead within
What
24 hours.
what's the best thing I can hope for? Working at a bookstore and hoping it's not run by Tucson?
Working at McDonald's.
Wouldn't that be fucking hilarious though? Like, right? You're like, alright, I've saved enough money. I'm gonna open up my bookstore in Vale. Opens up bookstore in Vale. 2 white fang come in.
No,
Fuck.
no, 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 no. That's when you realize, oh god, I am Tucson.
You look down, you
not a
suddenly
photos.
realize you're wearing a suit, got a bowler hat on. No. No!
Because, like, you could even make it a joke as, like, you've always gone by X name, but, like, when they were filing your paperwork for the construction, it was, like, Tucson instead of whatever your name was, which was very close to what it was. You know, like Hebert and Herbert.
It's a
And you're like,
typo.
no! No!
You don't realize it until later? No. No!
What have you done?
Imagine working at a dust shop that Roman robs. I mean, you'd actually be pretty
Ooh.
fine, considering the
Yeah.
fact that Roman would, like,
Actually,
come
yeah,
in.
no, because there's heavy
doesn't-
implication that Roman doesn't hurt people as long as they comply, and even then, probably gotta push him a bit before he finally
He
takes a
even left
swing.
money behind.
Yeah. Yeah, he was only there
Uh,
for the dust.
I don't think he left. No, he didn't leave money behind.
I could have sworn he left money behind.
I
At
think
least
he
in
left money
some
behind at
books
least.
that,
Yeah, no. I remember the cops being like, "Who robs a dust store and leaves the money?"
Yeah, they were just there for the dust.
Yeah, he didn't leave money.
Specifically because of cinder.
I mean, he didn't touch the register.
Or the safe. Just
Oh,
the
'cause he was
dust.
only there for the dust.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah,
way
but
you
that's
guys
what-
were saying it, it sounded like you were saying he paid for it on his way out for some reason.
No.
Oh no,
no.
Because you didn't say he left the money. You said he left money behind. It's like what?
He definitely did not
He
fucking pay
did
for
not
it.
He
steal
left.
the
He
money
left.
from the
He left
store.
Imagine
the
a
money
much more
behind.
polite version of Roman. Like,
Roman
here's
Hood.
the thing.
He had to pay
Here's
for
the
all of
thing.
his
You could
dust.
absolutely still make Roman. Actually, you could do a much better job of making Roman an enormous fucking tool by having him leave like $5.
Oh no!
You know what? Actually,
he
you
leaves
could
50%
actually
of the
roll it.
wholesale price behind.
Right. No, exactly.
Yes.
Right. Like, so, like, basically, what you could do if you really wanted to roll Roman as a thief in a world where thieves probably get killed for making people sad, you know, because of the whole death horde.
Yep.
You could probably have Roman get away with it for so long because what he would do would be to rob the really rich people. He would sell their shit off. And then when he robbed poor people or, you know, like mom and pop shop owners, he would leave just enough money behind that the insurance would cover the rest. And so the poor mom and pop shop owners were never like, oh, yeah, the guy that broke in, we don't have any tapes of him.
We don't have any tapes.
Oh,
He
Sorry,
covered
I,
his
I
face.
just imagine him coming in, going to the shopkeeper. What is your insurance plan like? Are you? Do I owe you
What's the thing you
protection
covered
money?
for?
No. Really, what's your insurance? I need to know how much to leave.
Right, exactly.
And of course,
right.
the separate joke of that is, "Hey guys, how's your health plan?"
Oof.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like your knees?
10.
No, listen.
How's the health plan? Start shooting. Apparently, it was great.
So I actually helped.
Okay.
Sorry, I actually helped my friend, IRL friend, write his sci-fi book, right? And he did actually finally take some of my suggestions and implement them into the story. And so one of his ideas for a scene was that he has the police do some police brutality to the main character in this cyberpunk world, right? How very original and bold of him. And then his
Yes.
idea was that after the guy gets beat up, he gets thrown in jail, except in the jail, what they do is they play really shitty porn ads at you 100% of the time. But
Oh,
if you
no.
fill out like a 24/7 Google survey about like, we will show you 2 ads, which ads do you like more? And like you have to fill out like this survey constantly to turn the other shitty porn ads off.
Oh my.
Ugh.
A thing worse than death itself.
And he was like, oh yeah, and then I'll have him do like a survey about how brutal the police were, of like, you know, like 1 was like not brutal enough and 10 was like super rough. And I was like, no,
Not
bro. Right. And I was like, no,
Giving
bro.
me harder battles. What the fuck?
No, quite literally, that's what it was, right? So I was like, no, dude, if you're going to go with this whole police brutality joke, what you have to do in this cyberpunk dystopia is have the survey be from 1 to 10, rate the amount of force used on you by the police. 1 was not enough, and 10 was just the right amount of force.
Oof.
So no matter what the amount of force the police used, it was always scored
Just
as
enough.
the not just enough force.
Hello,
And
we are
I thought that
Cybercorp.
was fucking
Please
brilliant.
Please rate your meeting today.
Yeah, literally.
You know,
Yeah, no.
I'll be honest, the last guys who beat me had some really good technique. Listen, they did a fantastic job. I hurt for days after I got out of that cell, but no broken bone. Really, their technique was flawless.
Extreme bruising.
Jesus.
No, but like here's the thing, right? Like you could actually have that be something, right? They train them how to beat people correctly because if we break their bones, they can sue us.
I've never seen someone use a shower shoe that creatively.
Literally behave
Honestly, it was
yourself
a little
or I shall give you a
terrifying.
taste of my shoe.
But
No, see, the
anyway,
joke is that in prisons, the inmates will in fact beat each other with shower shoes, and you can pay someone with a fucking pot of coffee to go and take care of a troublemaker.
Hey, this guy keeps telling the guards that we didn't get our
Sign
daily
is speaking
beating
from
today.
experience.
Fucking kill him.
Actually, yes, in this case, it's secondhand experience because my brother worked in a prison, and the story goes
As
they
an
had some
inmate?
guys. No, as a guard, Sneaky. They had some guy spit on one of the
Guarding
lieutenants.
his boss's asshole?
Yes.
Yes, but no, had one of the prisoners spit on the inmates, and so he goes up to one of the bigger old boys there, and he's like, "I know you like coffee, right? I tell you what, I'll give you a pot of coffee if you go and explain to him that we don't tolerate this kind of behavior." "Yeah, sure, boss, absolutely. You want I should make it visible, or oh no, we don't want any. Don't want to send him to the nurse's station. We don't want to have to file a report." "Oh, sure, I got the thing for that." Pulls out a shower shoe. Yeah.
Somewhere, a Mexican mother gained immense power.
I thought Stray Cat
Let's
Strut was a
chocolate.
so-so story, but this has a banger ad.
Let
This
chocolate grows in
lesbian
power.
caused $17 billion in property damage in one weekend. Read this story to find out. All right,
What?
yeah, you
Okay.
know what, Ravensdagger, that, you know what?
But
That's
that's the thing.
actually
Listen,
pretty
I
good.
hate Ravensdagger. I hate the man.
Oh, yeah?
But like, here's the problem. He writes stories that are just good enough. I still hate him, and his writing is only ever mid. But compared to a lot of what I get suggested,
That's
like,
fair.
that's Raven's Dagger, but I know that at least won't have horrible grammar problems.
Yeah, and updates.
So it's the turd that floats to the top.
Yes, Raven's Dagger is the turd that floats to the top. He is the biggest onion on the shit heap.
I promise not to rake him on the day of rake.
Only rake him a little.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll use the small rake.
Use the garden
I'll
rake.
use the low caliber rake.
Low tier rake.
Any low tier rake.
Oh no.
Being stranded on Remnant would be usually most fans' dreams, but for Jay, it was anything but. Unable to use Aura. I mean, yes, if you literally just ended up on Remnant, you wouldn't have a soul, probably, so yeah. Seemingly immune to semblances. That makes
Impossible.
less sense. Dust, and even ignored by the Grim. Okay, not having a soul
Even
because you don't
less
have
possible.
Aura, you'd be ignored by the Grim. Yes, that checks out. He left to piece together what he's been dragged into storybook world. With nothing but his bold love for the series keeping him going, he ends up facing Remnant Secret sides head on. Okay, so two issues with this. Semblances and dust would totally affect you. Why would they totally affect you? Because they affect trees. Trees don't have
Because they
souls.
have physical effects.
Well, no.
They affect the world around them.
Grim affect the world around them, but they still don't go after things without souls.
Yes.
And if you don't have a soul, you don't have aura. So Grim wouldn't go
Yes.
after you. Those parts check out. Semblances physically destroy the world. They explode. They do effects on the world. Now,
And you are a part of the
Emerald's
world.
semblance could theoretically not work on you because, I mean, it depends on how you want to roll it, right? If you want to... What the fuck?
What was
What?
that?
Was that a smoke alarm, Sneaky?
No.
Forgot to change your battery?
No.
National Weather Service. A flash flood warning is in effect for this
Oh,
area
there's a
until
flash
10
flood.
p.m.
Oh.
flash flood.
Oh.
Daylight saving time.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Unless you live in a basement.
No, I live next to a riverbank that is about 30 feet below my house. So I'm fine. The water will never get 30 feet high.
I'm gonna say I
And if
live.
it does, there's no way. Let's put it this way:
Look.
if the water does get 30 feet high, there's nowhere he could have gone in any appreciable amount of time that would have saved him.
Well, it's not just that. It's if the water gets 30 feet high, I have way more problems on hand than my house flooding.
Yeah.
But anyway, so semblances and dust have clear, real effects. Like you like saying dust doesn't affect people without a soul. Then why don't they use robots to mine it?
Fire doesn't affect people, is what that's basically saying.
Right, but my point is that this introduces a logical fallacy into the story of if you're saying that things without souls doesn't set off dust, then why aren't they using things without souls to mine the dust?
Because fuck you, that's why. Plot hole.
Yes, exactly.
You know what? I think. You know what? Sneaky. You know what? Let's
What?
flip this on its head.
Yeah.
Dust can only be mined by people who have souls, which is why they make slaves do it.
Oof.
Sure, that'd
Like-
be cool, but like, why?
To try to possibly come up with a reason to justify slaves when they have robots.
I mean, yes, but like,
Dust is only able to be
Why?
activated and only able to be mined when there's something that's living and breathing nearby, I
Y-
guess.
you know what? Oh, you know what? Make it some nonsense about dust has like emotional resonance or something.
You have to actively
but-
control the dust to keep it from exploding while you're mining it, which is why robots
okay,
can't
see,
do it.
there we go. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes more sense. Sure,
You know
yeah.
what? That's, yeah, I was just saying that's a much better explanation than I did. But right, but like, yeah, you know what? Come up with some reason why it has to be.
But that also now introduces the problem of if that's true, then literally any earthquake turns into a sinkhole fiesta, as every time the tectonic plates of the planet shift, a bunch of dust mines go off in a giant explosion, causing massive sinkholes.
Yep. Also, your employees are all now, slaves are all now terrorists who can set off the mine at any time. Fuck you, we're not doing this for you anymore.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like no matter how you roll it, that's kind of like a really dumb idea. But anyway, so I can actually explain this, however, as to where the author is coming from. So on Space Battles and the other various forms, there's this really retarded idea that came out of Waifu Catalog that if you don't have magic, you can't be affected by magic.
Bullshit.
That's the stupidest fucking.
And
Okay,
so
you could neutralize magic, sure, but you can't neutralize physical effects like a fucking fireball.
No. First of all, can't use magic is affected by magic. Can't be affected by magic. Superman would like to have a fucking word with you.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
You can make someone like a blank in 40K who cannot be affected by warp sorcery because they very specifically have a negative soul value.
Specifically, yeah, it's sort of going off of that idea of specifically characters from worlds without magic can't be affected by magic because it doesn't exist in their reality.
No.
So if I used magic to summon a 10-ton boulder above your head and drop it on you, you don't die? The
Hey,
boulder
man,
ceases to
look, I
exist?
don't make the rules.
Idiots do. Right? But that's just part of the problem, right? Again, there are some universe, right, like the Powder
I'm
Mage
just
series.
telling you where it's coming from.
I know. I was just gonna say one thing, right? Powder Mage series, one thing that I really liked was the way that you got people who were anti-magic was it had to be a magician, a full-fledged magician who said fuck magic and gives up the ability to use it, and how strong of a magician they are is proportional to the amount of anti-magic field they generate. So a super weak magician can only block magic in a very small area, but they still block it absolutely.
Or
cool.
like the railgun continuity with that one guy who cancels whatever he touches, or
Tuma.
Umi Neko with Battler, who is himself completely anti-magic. You have to convince him magic exists before you can do magic around him, which is the entire point of the series.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But so I understand where they're coming from with this idea of theirs of, oh, well, if they don't have a soul, that means semblances can't affect them. Because, like I said, it would make sense to a certain extent. Like Emerald semblance, 100%, I would agree, would be on the sort of level of Naruto Genjutsu, where a Genjutsu wouldn't actually work on people without a chakra network, because Genjutsus use the other person's chakra network to do the Genjutsu. Now, some of them specifically don't, and are outlined as not doing that, but it is said that a decent number of the more advanced ones do.
That's a physical illusion versus a mind fuck. Physical illusions would work because it's there for you to see. It's
right,
a,
but
like
Emerald's
bending light, Sneaky.
Emerald's
is not.
No, Emerald is not bending light.
No, Emerald's is not bending light.
Emerald's
Neo's
is physical illusion.
Light.
Yes, and Neo's is
Emerald's
apparently Neo's is bending light, but that somehow means she can fucking teleport, which makes no sense at all. Also,
she runs really fast.
Her glass clones can apparently also fight.
It's hard light.
Right, hard light dust. I forgot.
Fuck you. Actually, isn't that a thing? Yeah, that is a thing, isn't it?
It is a thing, yes.
Oh, God.
I know, that's the best part. I hate it.
But no, Emerald's is a mindfuck type semblance where she's supposed to affect your brain directly. Neo's makes an actual illusion in reality that everybody can fucking see.
Right, and I'm also saying shit like, Ruby Rose's semblance would still work.
Yeah, Ruby's semblance only affects herself.
Yang's semblance would still work. You know what? Crow's semblance would work on you, and I know Crow's semblance would work on you because it works on Grim.
I would say Crow's semblance couldn't affect you directly, but it can affect the environment around you.
Well, it can make Grim trip up.
You over.
Well, no, it can make Grim trip up directly, so it would affect you directly. If it can affect Grim, it can affect you.
Yeah, having no aura, having that no soul thing, sure, we'll say certain semblances can't affect. I don't think it's gonna work on the concept of luck itself.
No. Okay,
So,
that makes sense.
Watch yourself around, Crow.
Yeah.
Everyone should watch themselves around Crow.
I'm gonna bet this is one of those things where they say it's an absolute, like, they don't understand the forces that are being applied.
I don't think they really understand what they're trying to claim here. I feel like
actually, if you can't have aura, you're useless because
the
semblances don't work on you. Fine. Yang is still an 18-year-old young woman who's been training for a minimum 10 years of her life, so that punch is still gonna break your goddamn jaw.
She could be
it's not just that. It's that semblances. So say theoretically, he somehow is Hatchet Face and he no-sells semblances. That doesn't no-sell the aura reinforcement that these people clearly do on themselves that allows them. Unless you're saying that without aura reinforcement, they can jump 20 feet in the air. So,
well, even then, Sneaky, you're still fighting a trained fighter. Even
right, I know, but my
point... They're lean as fuck.
Oh, yeah, no, but my point is more along the lines of you're still fighting someone using gorilla strength.
Yeah.
Yes. You are still fighting a human gorilla, yeah.
Yeah.
You're fighting a human gorilla who also has advanced weaponry ranging from big pointy stick to big stick that shoot bigger stick.
Yeah. So
Not only are you
it's
fighting a human
definitely
gorilla, you're fighting
also,
a human
you know,
gorilla with the same
and
like.
I'm pretty sure you guys actually did this, where you just straight up just had like, you know, the huntsman just fucking kill you guys accidentally because they were trying to spar with you, thinking you would be as
No, we rolled for that. We almost had an on-screen death in front of
okay.
students.
No, but we did, however, inflict psychological trauma on Ruby because she did not practice proper gun safety and turned, I think it was my head into
Yes,
chunky salsa.
Adam's
yes.
head was reduced to a chunky salsa on the gun range ceiling.
Right. Yeah.
Ruby,
No.
no.
I ended up with a broken leg and 2 daggers, one in each shoulder. Atin had a cracked rib or something.
Cracked rib
that-
and
in
I
that
think it was
fight.
oh yeah, gunshot to the thigh.
Yeah. So it's like, oh yeah, we're normal humans. Yes, we've cheated a bit with the ability, and also cheated by having Crow kick the shit out of us for 6 months up to that point. But we're still slightly above baseline humans in that story.
You know, did you
Which
guys
isn't
ever
saying
pull off the
much.
joke of "that's nice and all, but I have better places to be"? Pulls out gun, shoots self in head.
Yes. No,
you
not
did
quite
pull
that
off the
joke.
Okay.
But I did in fact pull off a joke where Weiss was being extra complainy, so I jumped down an elevator shaft to not have to deal with it for an hour.
The fucking, it's like fucking the one Deadpool gift that people post.
I don't have to be here.
I'm not gonna deal with this.
Well, I'll
Jumps out.
see you later.
Wait, what do you mean you're not gonna deal with this? Tips backwards out the window. Oh my god! Oh my god, he's dead! He'll be back in an hour. Wait a minute, are you telling me he killed himself just to not listen to me? Yep.
Yes.
I don't think we ever actually got that in the story. It was something you desperately wanted to do.
Damn, that's crazy.
But we didn't find a good spot for it.
Oh no,
But-
that's right. I'm sorry. I threatened Weiss with self-defenestration if she kept talking.
But yeah, point being though is that like this sort of scenario of I don't have any powers at all. Also, I'm a normal average Earth human in Remnant. You are quite literally in the position of Izuku in My Hero Academia without having a My Hero Academia Earth body. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is there is multiple characters throughout My Hero Academia that had powers nowhere even related to strength or speed or endurance or toughness.
Same.
And they were able to sprint down cars and punch, you know, through concrete walls and get thrown through concrete walls and get up and be just fine, even though their quirk was like, my snot's purple. Yeah, Stain. Yeah. Even Moroi, who lost his quirk, squared up against Overhaul. Yeah. Yeah, so quite
Yeah.
literally, My Hero Academia humans are just built different, and Izuku could have absolutely been that guy, but whatever. Point being, though, is that you are in a world where everyone is superpowered, and everyone has an evolutionary pressure as well to be faster, stronger, tougher, more resilient, harder to crack. Because, you know, all the people with actually, you know what? That's a great point. Mental health disorders probably would have been eliminated from the gene pool.
You
Like, yeah,
can't
sure.
Go there.
No, like, you know, like, I know I can't go there, but I am. Like, if you really think about it, right? Like, so I'm not saying completely eliminated, they're gone forever, but I'm saying it like goes from like maybe 1 in 10 people have this problem to like 1 in 100,000 people, 1 in a million people have this problem. Because of like, if someone has depression, right, the whole village gets killed.
Well, no, I would say that depends on a lot of factors, including stuff like how bad is their depression, how often is it a problem, and whether or not that particular depressed person has a genetic predisposition to it.
Right, but the point of the matter is that most people with severe depression are genetic inclined. Like, most people that develop severe depression is usually due to genetics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there has been many studies I've seen, because, I mean, obviously my whole fucking family has depression on my mom's side. But there's been multiple studies I've seen where it's like, yeah, this person was happy as a kid and happy as a teenager, and their parents loved them, and they were middle class, and they had a bunch of friends, and then they went to high school and then killed themselves because they were depressed because they just developed depression out of fucking nowhere.
Well, to be fair, they went to high school, and high school is hell on earth.
Yes, but if you have parents that love you and you never really wanted for anything, and you have a bunch of friends who were still friends at the point in time where the person killed themselves, typically that sort of person just doesn't decide to off themselves immediately day one.
True.
But yeah, so anyway, point being though is that that's sort of, I'm not talking about like someone's got some off days. I'm talking about someone's just like fucking rock bottom for weeks. And then maybe they have like a couple weeks where they're steady, and then back to rock bottom. Like, that severe depression would be wiped out. People who have schizophrenia would probably be wiped out. And not the people that develop it later on, but the people who develop it early on. Which I know are completely... There's a lot of things that can induce that, but... Schizophrenic people in general probably would be killed off. If not by the local population, then by the Grim. Because I'm sorry, but if you're freaking out all the time and you're hearing voices telling you to kill people or kill yourself, then a Grim's either going to kill you or someone else is.
If people find out about it, they're going to send you out into the woods to play with the Grim because they don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, so, like, a lot of mental issues probably would just be solved by sheer culling.
Like, it's either you or
Damn.
we have the Grim come and kill us all, so it's you, bud.
Bye,
Yeah.
Felicia.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so basically what it ends up is that the slowest die. The people who can't get fit very quickly die. The people who can't retain fat well die. Basically anyone that has any sort of problem dies. Because unstoppable murder horde.
Wait. So they need to both get fit and retain fat. So what you're saying, this is there's biological pressure for big booty, big titty ladies.
Yes.
Shut up, son.
With wide birthing hips, because they got to maintain that population.
And all of the men look like Marcus Phoenix.
I don't know who that is.
Wait, what? No.
I have no idea who that is.
No
Gears of
way.
War.
I never played Gears of War.
No
Hey, but you've seen the
way.
character design, surely.
I don't
You
know
have
his name.
definitely seen
You're
this
talking
man's
about
design.
the
Okay,
human potato,
they've
right?
all got the same build. You've seen
This guy? Like, come on, you've never seen this?
Once or twice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marcus,
he's
the
a human
Marcus Phoenix.
potato.
Yeah, the fucking wall of meat build. The
Yes.
bro
wall of meat.
specting the strength.
bro spec
the
is the only strength.
No, bro spec'd into steroids.
No. See, the funny thing is that actually people on that planet are just built different.
That's very true.
Higher gravity.
It's something like that. Higher gravity. They were all frontiersmen. And the planet was very inhospitable when they landed.
Oh, that would do it.
Yeah, so, like, literally all of them are just, like, pretty much every guy in the story is just a walking slab of meat.
Every guy would look like him. Every woman would look like, well, being honest here, Raven.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, point being is that yes, you would get very big men and very big women in different ways.
Hypersexualized is the word you're looking for.
No, hypersexualized implies dysgenic morphic traits.
Not necessarily. Hang on, let me look this up. I think there's a thread somewhere.
Because hypersexualized would be them specking for sex, which works to an extent when you need to replenish your population. But if that population also can't fight back because they spec'd too hard into sex, then it doesn't really matter how many numbers you replenish if you all die.
Here we go.
No. Yeah, no. Jesus Christ. The guy, yes. The girl, a little bit more.
No.
No.
That's not in any way conductive to survival.
Yeah. No.
Like, first of all, you can see that even in the art, the artist is having to acknowledge that there's something wrong with that person.
Yeah. No. Anyway, point being though is that what I'm trying to get to here is that if you're in Remnant as a normal human body from Earth, Yang slapping you on the shoulder would probably dislocate it. Like, with her not even trying.
Yeah.
Because this is actually a thing with bears, right? So we've tried to do stuff with bears, and we found out a lot about bears. And an important thing is that if you want to massively reduce the amount of damage a bear could accidentally do to you when you're interacting with it, you have to get it when it's very young and play with it when it's very young to teach it the amount of force that is expected of it towards you. And it will remember that when it gets older. And that's why you can see in quite a number of the videos where the bear is actually quite careful of where it's putting the claws and quite careful about how much it's leaning on the person. Because it's learned as a child how much play force it's expected to put onto its packmates, effectively.
This explains the bear grunt.
Yes.
Forky?
Well, whatever his name was. I don't remember
Yeah,
right now.
whatever.
But if the bear is interacted with post-childhood, it can still be friendly towards you, but you have to be careful when it tries to play with you because it's going to use the force it is expected to use on other bears because it isn't really smart enough to grasp that you are not as tough as it. And the same sort of thing would happen on, say, Remnant, where if everyone generally is this race of, like, basically superhuman compared to Earth, everyone's just generally really fast and really tough and can just get really, beat up hard with the amount of force that they put around to play fight and spar. The sort of force they might be using to jump 20 feet in the air would be the same force they might accidentally use on you, not thinking about it because you look just like them. That could just fucking rip your arm out of its socket.
Yeah, no, that would do worse than rip somebody's arm out of their socket. 20-foot standing leap? You talk about kick a hole in somebody.
Yeah.
Put your foot through their body.
So yeah, being friendly with people would be dangerous. Because if they just fucking slap you on the back having a fun time, yeah, they've just dislocated your spine.
You weren't using your L4 or 5 either way. Like, does it really matter?
Crunch. Ow. Thump. I
Can you
can't feel my
teach
legs.
a kobold to ride a slime? dungeon of knowledge.
That looks gross.
I think the better question is, can you teach the slime to not eat the kobold?
Yeah,
It depends
honestly,
on
I
the
think you
slime.
might have a harder time. Well, no, pretty much all slimes kind of eat you.
Here's the other
Generally-
question: why would you stop the slime from eating the kobold? They're little fucking.
Right?
Well, because you're trying to teach the kobold how to ride the slime.
You won't mount it
Okay, understandable.
on slimes. But wouldn't it be
Lucky
better
damn
to
it.
teach the kobold to ride rouses?
What did you just
I
send
can't.
me?
I can't post that normally. Yeah. From the moment he first felt consciousness, Whitley Schnee hated the quiet. It was the only thing the Schnee Manor would ever be. At the peak of the world, but one day, accidentally eavesdropping on his father, Whitley learns of a secret military project, the Penny Project, which leads to his own investigation where he becomes best friends with Penny Palinda. Okay, so first off, my issue with this story is the main character is Whitley. I hate Whitley. Everyone hates Whitley. No one likes Whitley.
If you like
Fuck
Whitley,
Whitley.
seek help.
All my friends hate Whitley.
Yeah, all my homies hate Whitley. As a dungeon, you have a higher chance of success killing enemies who want to loot you if your mobs are mounted. What?
Hmm?
Success chance of killing enemies who want to loot you. I mean, okay. Yeah, sure, but I don't think that applies to slimes. I somehow feel like a slime is not going to provide the same benefits a, say, chocobo or horse would.
I mean, Slime Knights exist in Dragon Quest, so I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
but
but
aren't-
slimes in
aren't
Dragon Quest are
Slime
not an
Knights-
inherently corrosive creature.
Yeah, also, aren't Slime Knights in Dragon Quest literally slimes that are knights?
No, they ride slimes. They have like a symbiotic relationship or some shit. I don't know.
Okay, that's weird.
Toriyama's character designs are great, and he doesn't explain them.
That's fair.
No, I think they clarified Slime Knights are, in fact, slimes riding slimes.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Can a slime
be too
reform
hard.
itself? La ditto? No, slimes don't really reform themselves. Some slimes can reform like a starfish, but those are very rare and kind of get purged whenever they pop up in D&D
Nope.
because of the whole
They're dwarf
I thought that
humanoids.
was
Yep,
instead of
they're-
stride green slime. No, they're actual
Huh.
other people.
Oh wow, no wonder I like Slime Knights. They're dwarfs.
Oh my god.
I hate you.
Duh.
Stop dwarf posting.
No.
Grim
Never.
Souls. John Ark always wanted to be huntsman, a hero, yet his training never seems to get anywhere. The floating screens tell him exactly how weak he is. Doesn't really help. That is until he kills his first Grim. Enemy felled, well, I'll be damned. A Grim Souls system. That's right. This is a Dark
Ooh.
Souls Ruby story.
This story sounds familiar. What's the name of it?
Grim Souls. It's got 40 chapters, and wait, what the fuck? It's got 40 chapters, and it's been ongoing since April 26th of this year.
What?
Wow.
That was
What's the word count?
that was 4 months ago.
What's the word count?
100K.
Okay.
Like 2K
Yeah,
word
I guess
chapters.
if you're doing 2K words a chapter, averaging what was that? About 2 to 3 chapters per week.
10 chapters a month.
It's the only thing you're working on.
That's. I mean, yeah, that's doable then.
Would basically be like 1 chapter every 3 days. That's doable, yeah.
Well, yeah, you can do
My
that.
name is John Ark, and as long as I can remember, I wanted to become Hunter. A hero like my father before me and his father before him. Protectors of humanity that stood between the people and the creatures of Grim that would see us destroyed. There was one problem with that. I, John Ark, was the runt of litter. Actually, you weren't. As far
I
as
mean,
I remember,
I don't know. His
they
sister was
did.
pretty tall.
Yes, but as far as I remember, canonically, they did make John have more aura than
Yeah, like a lot
everyone.
more.
Jean has significantly more than the average person based on
Yeah.
dialogue cues in the story, yes.
Like that's why it nearly knocked Pyrrha on her ass, awakening his aura, even though she had years of training.
That's fan inference.
That's fanon, dude. What the fuck are you
Maybe.
talking about? She was not nearly knocked off her ass. Now, Cardin being knocked back by that, you could probably infer with that. Although it is
Yes.
strange because that never happens again and never shows up ever again and is never explained.
Yeah.
So typical RT.
Yeah.
Imagine how much more fun of a character Jean could have been. And it's like, oh yeah, that was your semblance, by the way. What? Yeah, when something hits you, if you get perfect parry, you just explode. with aura.
Your semblance is
damn.
perfect parry.
Your semblance is Royal Guard.
I was about to say, that's a
Actually,
little more
okay.
than perfect parry.
Hold
That
on, that
wouldn't
would
be too
actually be
bad,
kind of
actually.
sick. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
actually be kind of sick.
And just turn every
Yeah.
single fight into ultra kill.
Your semblance is Royal Guard.
That would be kind of fun, actually.
Dante shows up.
No.
Mm.
It's actually just Dante is the great about 1,000 more greats ancestor of the arcs.
Now, see, here's what's funny.
And he's still chilling because
Yeah, I was saying,
yeah, the
The
brother
gods
those
are
guys.
actually just Dante and Virgil.
God damn
You
it.
know what? I think it would have been funnier if the real reason they ran from Remnant is because they finally pissed off Dante and Virgil. It's like, why'd you run? They were both mad at us.
Virgil has reached his final form. Now he's asking us for taxes.
They stopped.
Don't you understand? His
Attacking each other
OST
and
was
started
playing
fighting us.
Devil Trigger.
I heard Devil Trigger, and I wasn't about to find out who it was playing for.
You know what's funny? Is that both Dante and Virgil actually have enough power at the end of DMC5 to create their own soundtrack IRL.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of Dante's weapons is a guitar.
Well, yes, but no, I mean literally like just willing it into existence because part demon. That's just a thing they can do.
I'm sorry, I'm still just thinking back to the reason that Dante finally bothers to show up. He shows up, so you're the one who got my power. Who are you?
Yeah. I feel like them being in the story would make it dumb.
The story was already dumb to begin with.
Yes, but like it's a difference between like why
I mean, here's
can't
the
I
thing.
give Sif the ring and I am now taking my giant dragon mommy out of the painting and I'm gonna write a bunch of fetish chapters with her and her feet.
What?
Huh?
What the actual shit?
Our competition in the Dark Souls story.
No, our competition Dark Souls story was, why can't I just take Artorias' ring? Because
That's
it
what I
was
just
part of
said.
the it was part of the Ulasil DLC, which, by the way, that's why you can't take it, because it was added after the fact. And it wasn't Priscilla. We pulled her out of the painting. No, his fetish was
No. He pulled Priscilla out of
Quelaag.
the painting.
Yeah,
No,
but his
he-
fetish was for Quelaag.
Was it?
Yes. I don't think he ever got to the world of Aramis because his story was a nonsensical fever dream and how it was paced. And it
Wait,
just
so
kept
then what
jumping
was the Dark
all over
Souls
the place.
story where the author decided to have like a whole 3 chapters of foot fetish porn with their monster wife Priscilla?
It's not ringing a bell. I don't think I want to know either.
You block those memories.
I'm pretty sure it was Why Can't I Take the Ring?
I mean,
'Cause-
it could have been.
I specifically checked up on that story. I was like, well, what's the story doing now? And I just opened up to that, and I was like, what the fuck, Max? And you were like, what the fuck, Sneaky? And we both kind of just never checked in on that story ever again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. What the fuck? Did he do a re-upload?
Oh, he might have.
March 20th, 2015 to October 18th, 2015. 184,000 words, 65 chapters. There was not this much writing the last time I
No.
looked at this story.
No.
He has it marked complete, so I guess he's got that over us.
Damn, that's crazy.
833 reviews. One of the
What?
first guest review that I see. One of the most boring things in all fan fictions I've ever read, as if it were a compilation of other fics.
Ooh.
Jeez, this guest is not
Damn.
fucking being nice.
To be
Bird.
fair, it was a pretty dog shit story. Like, it kind of had a sort of interesting idea at first, and then it just didn't at all. Like, they just kept
I mean,
escalating.
the problem is that he kept escalating with lol so random crackfic humor.
Yeah, that's
For
what he did.
fuck's sake, the first chapter is titled Estes Up the Nose Burns Like Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
that's what you told you what to
2015.
expect.
Those were the days. The end of the lol so random era.
Thank God.
I kind of wish that I wish people would let that era stay dead.
I mean, between what we have right now and that, I kind of think I want that.
No.
Yeah, people are
Oh, you don't
now
understand.
being.
It's just an extension of it, Nose. It doesn't die.
No.
It never dies.
It's the song that never ends.
Oh, how fucking dare you?
Does it go
how
on and on?
How McFucking dare you?
You boys still going? Yes. The screens had been there for as long as I can remember. Are you really fucking seriously telling me right now that John Ark, as far back as memory goes, has always been able to see his status screen, and he has been level fucking 1 since he was
Maybe
6?
even level 0.
That day I learned I was not normal to see status screens, and I never mentioned it again to anyone. As far as I could tell, they showed me how strong I was, which wasn't very. Even my younger sister was stronger than me, and she was 2 years younger than I was. It was almost like a video game, but video game characters get stronger, and I didn't. Okay, actually, you're wrong there, because most video game RPGs don't have their character stats increase.
Yeah.
They have their skill stats increase in some RPGs through using the skill, but pretty much every single RPG in existence only has the actual stats of the character go up when you level up. It's tied to it in some way, but just to be clear here, of, the vigor went up by 1, so my level goes up by 1, or it's my level went up by 1, so I can increase my vigor by 1.
Yeah.
Well, no, I have heard of a few JRPGs where, you do some activity in the game in between levels, and it will increase your stats 1, 2, 3 points, something like that.
Yeah,
It's usually garbage and not worth
there
it.
are there are some that have things like that. Like
Yeah, that's
some
why I said
RPGs
most.
have in comparison, it's really only a handful that have systems like that. Like this item permanently boosts this stat. This activity will permanently boost this stat.
Persona
As well
is
as
one of them.
leveling up will also boost the
Yeah,
stat.
the JRPGs that tend to have the action and boost this stat permanently system tend to be JRPGs with a time-based system where you only have X amount of days to do the JRPG.
Yeah, not wrong.
Yeah. because it's to balance out the fact that you don't have a free roam to do whatever the fuck you want in.
No, you can't
anyway.
just go to the dungeon and keep running it.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, point being though is that John Ark in true fandom fashion somehow is written as dumb as canon, in where he goes, this is just like a video game screen, except normally my characters get stronger over time. Get stronger by doing murder. And what have you, John, not done? Murder. It's really weird. Normally my stats would go up by now. Doing everything but what my video game characters do.
Which is kill everything that crosses their path.
And loot them.
And loot them, obviously.
Can't forget the looting. Very key.
Yeah, you're supposed to loot everything that's not nailed down.
Exercising never increased my stats.
You can loot things that are not nailed down too.
Just loot the nails.
And
Bring a
then
hammer.
it's no longer held down by nails.
Exactly.
Anything can be looted as long as you have a crowbar.
That was my favorite
Our
fucking
souls
mod
all-
in Morrowind, was the conversion of everything into an object you can pick up almost. And then also the mod that allowed me to break down said objects into crafting resources. And so I
Oh.
would quite literally just like go in and be like, hey, that's a nice candle, bruh. Mine now. Hey, that's a cool coffin lid. Mine now. Steal the bookshelf.
Ah, yes. A beautiful urn of your great-grandfather's ashes.
That's worth
Mine
10
now.
ceramic. Mine now.
What about the ash? Oh, well, I could use that to make soap. Mine now.
It's going in the potion.
Oh, God.
You fucking alchemist weirdos.
Yes, today I shall make a potion out of random person's grandmother's ashes. This weed I found on the side of the road, a toenail clipping of a giant, and a butterfly I just threw in there alive. Oh, wow!
Also the
It
soul
created the
dragon.
potion of ultimate health reduction. Grandpa's ashes.
It's, that's a real flavor, isn't it?
Of course it
Yes.
is. It's the whole fucking lolsa random gamer stuff.
I've heard some of those are pretty good.
I have heard mixed reports about pretty much everything on when it comes to gamer subs. I know there was like that G Fuel thing that kind of really died hard. It like spiked and then just fucking phased out of existence.
If I recall correctly, it was Crow specifically who was talking about this particular brand. He said there's one called Titty Milk or something. It's a little too chalky and not quite enough berry and too much cream or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like just
Well,
not
that would be
quite right.
that'd be the chalkiness. Milk when not properly rehydrated is a little bit chalky and sweet.
Maybe. I think Chin Lamp had also tried some and said one of them tasted weird.
Yeah,
One of them was really good though. One of the pretty ones.
it's kind of just like I don't know, like I try to stay away from energy drinks these days. I mean, I used to buy a lot of Monster in my day, a lot of Monster, a worrying amount of Monster. But I just
you had it mainlined.
I just can't do that shit anymore. I'm 30 and I already
Yeah,
can't
that
do
happens
that
when you
shit
burn out a
anymore.
vein.
Apparently, they also now sell instant noodles in varying flavors.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm
worrying.
good. I'll stick with my ramen, my 5-cent ramen noodle.
Yeah, I'll just stick to the actual ramen noodles I buy like twice a year
Yeah.
from Sun Noodles.
Or my $10 rice. My $10 50-pound bag of rice.
Yeah, you know, that'll, you know, just,
Yeah.
I don't think I would trust it. They're calling it gamer soups. I don't think I could
Gamer
trust that.
soups.
Oh
Oh.
no. That is worrying.
Yeah, Maruchan beef
yeah, there
ramen, my
you-
beloved. Yes, real.
Honestly, I haven't been able to bring myself to touch instant ramen since having a taste of Sun Noodles ramen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had good real ramen at this great place in Vegas called Itsy Bitsy Ramen and Whiskey, and to get to it,
Oh,
I
that's a
had to
good
travel
title.
through a back alley. Yeah, they served ramen and whiskey there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a good title. It's honest, it's straightforward, it tells you exactly what's on the menu.
Yeah. But yeah, to get to it, we had to walk through a back alley, enter through the back entrance of another restaurant, and walk down this like narrow hallway to get into the restaurant itself. It's
Wow,
like it
that
brought a
is
new
worrying.
definition to hole in the wall. Oh man, the food was so cheap and it was so good. They also had sake there, and we had a bunch of sake, and that was good. Good time. Ramen and sake in middle of Vegas. I don't know if they're still active. I don't know if they survived. I mean, they probably didn't get a lot of traffic because of how difficult it was to find them and go to them.
You probably didn't survive the coof.
Yeah. Though it was also very cramped quarters, so yeah. Anyway, so basically, the author is saying how John went and did everything but what a video game character does. Like, he had John training and exercising every day and studying and eating healthy food, and for some reason, none of the stats ever increased.
Mm. It is a mystery.
Yeah. And I didn't even get experience from training or sparring. Okay, John, you can see your stat box. Your stat box says HP, AP, Vigor, Mind, Endurance, Strength, Dexterity, and Intelligence. Do you see an XP bar? No, you don't. So how would you possibly get XP for doing an action when you can't gain XP?
Or you haven't done anything to gain any XP, thus don't have the bar.
Yeah. But anyway, still, point being is that it's just like, oh my god, I did everything but actually what a video game does. I can't believe my video game stats are increasing. I don't understand. I wanted to become a hunter, blah blah blah. Everyone thought I was useless. Grr. Soft growl. Behind me stood a small Beowulf. Level 3. It lunged at me. I was a child. It hit me. It took a chunk out of the blue aura meter. Frantically, I grabbed a rock and slammed it into the grim. And then the health bar above its head dropped a little. Bro's about to recreate the Bloodborne opening. Not gonna lie, I'd read a John Arc Otome gamer story. I wouldn't. Like, there's no hilarity value to it because John Arc as a character effectively doesn't exist. And so you would have to write someone else's self-insert. Wait, you've written one?
Exactly.
Oh.
It has
that
elements
one.
of Otome Gamer shit.
Yeah, that's true. It did have elements of that, didn't it? But yeah, John Arc doesn't really exist as a character. You would have to wholesale replace him with someone else, or you, or anything, literally. Like,
Well, that's because
even
he's Miles SI.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, writing him as anything besides an incompetent oaf, just like Miles, you would be writing John out of character, and so it wouldn't be a John
Like-
arc Otome Gamer story. It would be OC in Remnant Gamer story. By the way, he looks like John Arc. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't hate on that too much because I don't like John Arc as a character. So whenever someone decides to fucking off him, replace him, or just not include him in the story, fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, he's kind of milquetoast.
I
He
mean, you can
actively
literally
adds-
probably-
Milquetoast.
You can replace him with literally any personality, and it'd probably be better.
Well, it's not even just
Yes.
that. You can replace him with nothing, and the story will be improved.
Yeah.
Unironically,
Yeah,
yes.
you're not really wrong on that. Although you almost turned around on him after Volume 9, and then he remembered what led up to Volume 9.
Yeah. Where he
Oh,
had a
and
whole character
he
arc and
fought
everything, and then
the
he...
way.
Volume 9 is so good in a vacuum.
Yeah.
Aside
And then
from the
it
first
completely
30
reset him
minutes.
at the end.
Do you feel like a hero yet, Ruby?
Oh, probably the best line of the series, or one of.
And
They
it
don't
wasn't
get the
even
line,
said.
but yeah. One of the best sequences in all of Ruby was that entire scene of everyone dealing with their personal issues and overcoming it, and then Ruby's like, I don't know.
Do you feel like a hero yet, Ruby? I love that I drew that. Yeah. I remember that picture. Yeah, got fucking banned off of the Ruby subreddit.
Within minutes.
Yeah.
Bro's mad.
Oh, punished Ruby. But let's see here. So anyway, he is trying to man fight the Bloodborne dog. Slamming the rock into it. Or a bar was gone. Stars covered my vision. This like 10-year-old is like swearing. I don't know how old he is anymore. So anyway, he beats the Grim to death with a rock, and then he passes out. He gains 487 dust.
Congratulations. He will now be experimented on and be converted into an infinite energy resource.
Yeah. For the first time in my life, my page had finally changed. There was dust there now. Okay. Are you really honestly, author, gonna tell me that you had John do quite literally everything except test out the dust stat? He studied. He vigorously worked out. He changed up his eating habits. And he did literally everything but test the dust stat. Really? So anyway, I poked one of my attributes, and my vigor went up, and my dust went down. I could level up. Wait, I could level up, and all I had to do was kill Grim? You said it was like a video game. You, author, had John in the narrative say it is just like a video game. And then at no point in time did you, in your fucking amoeba brain mind, ever put two and two together of someone who can relate his stat screen to a video game and have them go, oh, maybe I need to kill things. Just that never inkled into your mind? Now by killing one Grim, I could increase my attributes, but that budged my attribute by 10%. The rage I felt bubbling up was smothered by my excitement. Rage against what? You being retarded? Finally, I could become a hunter, and no one would be able to tell me otherwise. No more, you aren't improving, John. I popped 1 point into mind and 1 point into strength, leaving me with 137 dust. Boy, I sure hope that you have calculated out every single level and how much it costs and how much every single grim and what level the grim is and how much dust that'll give you. I sure hope you calculated that out, author, because boy, oh boy, if you fucking are really gonna sit here and try and bullshit the level requirements for every single level, you are going to fuck yourself over. But then again, you are stupid enough to write a Soulsborne gamer story for Remnant and have John, who you made familiar with video games, not understand his video game semblance for 6 years. Or more. So yeah, he steals his shit. He steals the sword and shield and he goes out and he starts trying to fight the Grim. Except actually he's kind of getting his shit beat in. Except he kills the Grim with a sword this time, which is a lot easier than a rock he found off the ground. And so anyway, blah, 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 family's looking at him. He's level 10 now, that's right. He farmed all night. Also, he's a video game character, except he still needs sleep. Like, it's one thing to be like, hey, you still need sleep, except your stats can increase by you doing actions. Because that means your body isn't entirely a video game body, and it's more like a visual representation of your actual physical attributes, and not some sort of gamified, 1-0 representation of your existence, right? But if you're really going to sit there and be like, exercising doesn't help his stats, but also he needs to sleep, which is a normal biological process. But these other normal biological processes don't work. You just look stupid. You just look stupid. It's like if you put survival mechanics into a game where the only way to improve anything was to, do jumping jacks. It's stupid.
So it's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah. So what he increases his strength by a little bit. Come on, John. Shouldn't you know better? 30 vigor, 30 mind. Let's go. Get your build corrected.
Imagine not feeling...
Blah blah. Single night, I became half as strong, and my aura had grown, and I got exhausted less often. It was getting more cost to level up, and blah blah blah. I'm going to Beacon. Come on, John, give up. I was rereading Games We Play. Die.
Death.
I
Death
have
be upon you.
Huh?
The Games We Play isn't bad.
It's fucking awful. Even Ryugi agrees with me.
The latter half of it was supposedly
It was
pretty awful. I never
worse.
got
The
that
latter
far.
half was worse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The beginning was all right. The end was, I've heard it got kind of crazy. and
Yeah,
bad.
it got kind of crazy. And it wasn't just crazy in terms of plot escalation or power escalation. It got crazy because he started doing shit like, oh, well, John has like 3,000 intelligence, which means he can think multiple paragraphs before each action mid-combat, explaining literally everything that he's about to do as he's swinging his fist. And like, fights turned into multi-chapter monologues from John's end.
Yeah, don't do that.
It was awful. First off, despite this being a gamer story, John won't be OP. Bro fundamentally does not understand a Dark Souls.
Right.
He won't be OP, then what's the point of introducing
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
soul spawn system? My dude.
To
What's the
give
point of
you
having a gamer system
perspective,
at all?
to give you perspective, I've arbitrarily decided that the Deathstalker they fight in Initiation episode is level 94, Pyrrha's level
Fuck you.
50, and the average Beacon Initiate is level 30. If you are familiar with Soulsborne games, you should know that his leveling will taper off significantly past level 10.
Bro, what?
What?
Bro, I didn't even have to farm, and I was level like 120 before I started having to even try.
Yeah, your leveling slows down because the requirements to level go up. However, if you're
not-
fighting things in your weight class or above it, you're still getting the experience you need.
Well,
You
not
The
only
only
that,
way-
if
your weight
well,
class.
No, the only way you're tapering off on leveling speed is if you don't move past Firelink Shrine.
well, I mean, yes, there's that too. But also the fact that the only way you would really level off in leveling speed is if you do some sort of retarded jack of all trades build where by the time you're level 200, you only have 20 points in every stat.
Ugh.
I've seen people
Full
do
one
it.
or the other build. Dex, strength, or mana. Take your pick.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, and that's what John's doing right now. Is he's fucking trying to sprinkle it everywhere.
Like just enough strength and endurance to wear your armor, and then
John,
everything else goes into fucking mana.
again, it's like this is what frustrates me the most. If you were like, oh yeah, John doesn't know video games because he spends so much time trying to train that he never really got the time to play video games, and he hated the look of video games because of the fucking all the stat boxes looked like his box, but his would never increase, and so he didn't want to play video games, and that's what. And so he did things other than video games. Like, that's at least reasonable. Stupid, yes, but I've met people that are that stupid. I actually was reading a fan fiction recently where the author introduced this really stupid self-insert character into I'm a slime reincarnation, whatever the fuck it's called. And the character was like this science religion nut job. He worships science as a religion, and he gets the inspired inventor power, and so he would constantly put points into everything but magic because he hated the idea of magic because magic's unquantifiable, except by the very definition of inspired inventor, he would be able to quantify magic by putting points into it.
Fucking dipshit. Your very
Um,
existence
I-
is proof of magic.
And literally
Meanwhile-
multiple times throughout the story, and I ultimately ended up having to drop it because it just got really stupid. Like the author literally had the character be smart, air quotes, and acknowledge that whatever he was trying to do at the moment, like save Shizuka, the girl that dies to the Ifrit, the Japanese girl that wears the mask.
Shizu?
Shizu, yeah, Shizu.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's Shizu. So he tries to save the girl with the mask, right? And he acknowledges openly that all he would need to do, yes, her, is put like 3 points into this one magic skill, and it would probably give him exactly the solution he needs. But he hates magic, and he wants to do it the science way. And so he spends like... He gets 5 charges a day. This is how bad it is. And he spends like 3 weeks worth of 5 charges a day getting a broad spectrum, literal god tier science knowledge downloaded to his brain just so he can replicate what a magic skill can do with 3 points.
Huh?
Because he doesn't like
Jesus.
magic.
Meanwhile, the absolute Chad known as Hovels out here casually creating anti-magic barriers as a faith, as a miracle. Like,
I'm going
I
to
hate
chant
magic,
some shit.
therefore fuck you.
The original script for Hovel's greater anti-magic spell. I hate magic, I hate magic. Fuck you, Seed, fuck you, Seed.
Followed by, I'm gonna shove this dragon tooth up your ass.
Oh, God. But,
Just-
yeah.
If you have a character hate magic, don't be so complicated. Just like, yeah, fuck magic. You don't even have to
Or,
be
I mean,
like, I
just,
hate it because
like-
it can't be quantified. Just
Or just alternatively, don't let his power give you points in magic. Just be like, damn, I would really love some magic knowledge right now, but it's too bad that my inspired inventor ability only works on material sciences and not magic.
Yeah.
Ah. Don't be like,
magic
yeah,
technology? No.
I could fix this issue instantly with the span of 3 hours, but instead I'm going to take several months and put this person through agonizing, soul-rending, literally, pain because I hate magic.
All because of your own fucking hubris.
Now, if you're about to tell me that that person's the villain,
Also, here's another thing. This person is clearly not a Soulsborne fan at all because they are literally sitting here saying 10 levels between Pyrrha and the average Beacon student is enough to put Pyrrha as a grand champion of the underage bracket gladiator fights.
X to doubt.
If you play Soulsborne, you know that 10 points doesn't mean shit. Unless it's in health. That's when it
Ooh.
matters. And only
Yeah.
then.
yeah.
No.
10 points
to
of
mean a
health is
requirement.
massive.
10 points
No,
to mean a requirement
no,
for
that
a new
doesn't.
spell.
No, yeah, no, that doesn't matter at all. No, dude, no, that doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all.
We're doing a level-to-level comparison.
Yeah, we're
Level
doing a
40
level.
versus level 50.
If someone who's level 40 gets invaded by someone who's level 50, they are functionally, if they both build air quotes correctly, not going to have that much different between their builds, except the person who's level 50 might have like 3 or 4 more points in vigor than they do. Yeah,
Isn't
or
there
10
some
points.
things?
Yes, some things can be like, okay, so say they're both, so we're using Pyrrha in this example, and we're using the average Beacon student in this example, and we have shown in Ruby they are both physical fighters, so neither of them are going any points into magic. So what they will likely end up having is both of them easily meet the requirements on most weapons. And the point difference, even if someone stacked all 10 points into a dex scaling weapon, and they were both using the same dex scaling weapon, someone having 30 points in dex and someone having 40 points in dex is a damage difference of about 0.25 of a hit.
All right. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I seem to remember watching a lot of videos on Elden Ring about the
Right.
breakdown in stat tiering systems, like
Yeah, soft
Magic
caps and all that.
specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, your soft caps. Where if you go from 40 to 50, there's a big damage jump, but from 50 to 60 onward until you get to 80, there's nothing.
to
Once
be
you
clear,
get 80,
Sign,
there's
that's
another big
a
damage jump.
total amount. So the way that works is, right, let's say that I have 10 decks, and I'm using a weapon with I'm just gonna make numbers up to make things simple here. Let's say it has S scaling, right? Because another thing that's really
Yep.
important part of it is the scaling of your
scaling.
weapon.
Yep.
Let's say 1 point of dex gives me 10 points of damage on that S scaling weapon.
Yep.
To be clear, all that difference, what they're talking about for the tiering is from 30 to 40 dex, I will gain 100 damage. But once I go to 41 dex, instead, I'm only getting 6 or 7 points of damage per point of dex. That's
The
the
first
tier.
those are the soft caps.
The first soft cap is usually only 8 or 9. The
Yeah,
second
I
soft
know,
cap
I
is
know.
usually
I'm
like
just
6 or
making
7.
up. I'm just making up
I know,
numbers
but
because it
well,
doesn't actually matter. The
Right.
point is to get across to sign that it's not right. It might be a difference between 100 points of damage, which, I mean, again, armor and there's all kinds of stuff that mitigates that, but
Flat damage
generally
redux.
speaking,
Right.
it will not have been all pumped into damage. So yes, that person will have a numerical advantage, but not a domineering, overwhelming numerical
10
advantage.
points overall isn't going to be that much of a difference, and like I said, unless we're talking like health, because I mean, the until you get to around 30 points in every Soulsborne game, until you get to around 30 points of vigor, the vigor scaling is very generous, and then after 30 points of vigor, it does start to decrease, and then very much decreases around 50. But as a level 40, so typically as a level 40, and if you're going strictly physical build, you're gonna have probably about 8 holy, 8 magic. You're probably gonna have around 15 dex, so you can use most of the swords. You're probably gonna have around, I would say, 20 strength, and then 10 and 10 for vigor and stamina. Ish. Right.
Or
So
you could be intelligent and start with deprived and have 10 in everything.
Yes, well, you could do deprived. Yes, that is true. But still, at the end of the day, so even if you only have, say you have 10 in everything, and then you have a stat distribution of another 39 levels. So that would put you at around, I would say, probably 25 vigor, 20 stamina, 20 strength, and then 12 dex. Ish. That's not going to be too much of a difference between someone who's level 50, who probably has 5 more points in their vigor and 5 more points in their strength, or like 3 more points in their dex. The scaling difference is fractional. We're talking fractional levels of damage. The biggest bang for your buck at that low level is scaling your vigor until 30. That's going to give you the biggest stat increases across the board. And even that doesn't amount to much when you're talking about low-level damages. So saying Pyrrha's level 50 and that somehow makes her a worldwide gladiator, and the average Beacon student is level 30 to 40, that's nothing. That's nothing.
It could just be that she's that skilled.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying, right? It doesn't make any sense because
what we're saying though is he's trying to give these characters level equivalents when it makes no sense for them to have level equivalents. It makes no sense for the Deathstalker to be arbitrarily level 94, even though Pyrrha probably could actually solo it just fine.
Okay, so what it is he's saying they're high level, when in reality they're probably about the same level. It's just the difference in skill is astronomical.
Yeah, and well, it's not just that though. It's like, how to put this? The author thinks 10 levels of difference is big in a Soulsborne game, and it isn't. The author fundamentally does not understand level scaling in Soulsborne. And quite frankly, in Soulsborne games, me as a level 500 is still getting rocked by the same enemies I got rocked by when I was level 100.
Yeah, I noticed that. I didn't like that.
yeah,
Because
Sign, that's
all extra levels do is make things a little bit easier. Yeah, a buddy of mine one-shots people with 1500 HP. Yeah, it is not hard to beat someone up that is hundreds of levels higher than you if you're just not dog shit. What would Crow and Cinder's levels be at? Who the fuck knows? You can't quantify this shit unless you're going to sit down and make a spell sheet for them. And then you have to quantify how much damage their attacks do based off of that, and how much the scaling is based off of their weapons, and how their weapons are in relation to everyone else's weapons. And this is why you don't fucking do gamer stories, especially ones with hard fucking numbers.
Yeah, you're killing me. I actually did that, and it sucks. Stop. You're bringing up trauma memories here.
No, I will continue to traumatize you until more TOH chapters are made.
Later, I'm working on the Star Wars Tanya thing today.
Okay, good. Something
but yeah,
tells me
no,
that
it's
this
just,
guy never really looked at his stat sheet. Yeah, true.
but yeah, like that's just the thing, right? Like that's just one of the important, right? Because again, the most important thing that I can say about levels don't mean shit in a Souls game. There are people who beat the game as level 1 deprived.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying those people don't take a while to do it, and I'm not saying they're not fucking insane, because they are, and it does. But they do it.
And the other key part about
fuck
Souls
that.
games and why leveling not like the key part about Souls games is that you don't need levels to feel good. Because there's no real punishment for you dying. Yeah, you drop your souls. But, I mean, if you were doing a level 1 deprived run, who the fuck cares? If you weren't doing a level 1 deprived run, usually you're not running around with maybe more than a level of souls on you at any time, because most people tend to run right back to the fountain immediately to go level up more, once they can.
And if you are running around with more than that on you, that's your own damn fault.
Hit list deprived run purists can fuck off. I mean, there was that one guy that beat all 3 Dark Souls games without being hit. It took him like a month.
I want to be clear. I'm not advocating, oh, the correct way to fight to beat the game is to beat it naked deprived, level 1. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there are people who do that.
Yeah, but
It
point
is
being, though,
feasible accomplishment.
is a key part of the Soulsborne formula is that you die. And you can die, and you can come back. That's why it doesn't feel bad that the difference between you being level 50 and you being level 100, the difference there is what weapons can I equip and what spells I can equip. I mean, yeah, you're going to be doing a little bit more damage, and the boss gets a little bit easier, but at the end of the day, skill makes up a far wider gap than whatever your level number is, which is why level numbers don't really matter much in Dark Souls, beyond providing a wall that you need to climb if you want to make things easier for yourself. And so, you know, it's just like... if you're gonna have John have the Soulsborne formula as his gamer power, and then not give him the ability to revive, then you are fundamentally massively crippling him, because 90% of Soulsborne is fucking skill.
Like, canonically, you're supposed to be able to die and come back as certain characters.
Yes,
Yeah.
to be very clear, it is canonical in Dark Souls that the chosen undead comes back an infinite number of times, and that the only way the chosen undead loses is by going hollow and giving up. And that only happens when you, the human, quit.
Yeah. LeMay says, do any of these RPG novels ever show character growth by rematches? No, never. Have the main character get a curb stomped and later on they have him beat up or fight the same villain and win? Yeah, pretty much never really happens. Most RPG novels that I've seen people try to do this shit is they either typically have the character never encounter the higher level person, or if they do encounter the higher level person, they somehow manage to talk their way out of the fight. Or they have like this whole epic scene where they like sacrifice everything they can to get away from the higher level character, and then they kind of just become like a Mr. X in the story, which always makes it very boring, where the character will occasionally show up and they have to panic and run away from them, and then eventually they sort of beat them. But it doesn't feel very satisfying when they beat them, because you know at the end of the day, the only reason why the character beat them isn't because they learned lessons, or unlocked an inner power, or power of friendship, or tactical brilliance, or they tried harder and trained harder and, you know, figured out some sort of wild usage of their power to triumph over their enemy. They just beat them because their health numbers were bigger.
Well, now, on the contrary, I have seen a few, very few, that were done correctly did show actual character growth. And yeah, they lost on the first one and then came back for the rematch and won. And it wasn't because
But
numbers
were
go
these
up.
numbers?
per-
But
No,
did these
it was
stories have numbers in them?
yes, but
Oh,
it was one of these cases of okay, it's not a hard number system in certain ways. Like
okay, so it's a very loose
for
system.
example,
Okay,
not necessarily. All right, so he has HP, he has stats,
right.
etc., and so forth, right? And then he turns around and goes, you know what? Fuck it. I'm tired of this bullshit. Hey, system, can I put together spells? System's like, yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. And then he starts getting creative and going with physics to blow shit up.
Ah, fair enough.
What
Yeah.
could go wrong?
You don't need to put numbers into your story. Just make sure to note that X is stronger than Y. Well, yes, you absolutely can, but that's the thing, though, is like when you do an RPG story, typically has a lot of numbers involved in it. And I heartily recommend that you just generally don't do that. It makes for a bad story. It makes everything harder. And yeah, you could say, like, oh, this sword hits harder than this sword, but, like, do they?
Like the one I'm talking about specifically,
Like, getting cut
had
by an
it-
arming sword is the same as being cut by a great sword, except you're probably getting cut more, but both of them are going to kill you.
No, that great sword has more mass. If you get hit with that great sword, you're getting cut the fucking half. It's going deeper.
Yeah, and you think a normal arming sword wouldn't?
Not the same way, not as deep. Of course, a stab to the heart is a stab to the heart. You're fucked either way.
Bro, your limbs get your fucking limb gets chopped. Your limb's chopped. It doesn't matter if the chopping was done by an axe, a great sword, or an arming sword. Yeah, you know, your rib cage gets fucking chopped. You're bleeding out. Your fucking lung doesn't care whether it was an arming sword or a great sword that hit it. Yeah, sure,
Somebody
maybe the
hits one
great
of the main
sword can
veins,
go
you're
deeper. Yeah, I mean, when you're doing a wide range sweep attack with a sword, you're generally going to be hitting those. Like,
That's what
generally,
armor's
people
for.
didn't. Well, yeah, well, obviously, but my point is, but then if you're wearing armor, the greatsword isn't going to magically cut through the armor because its damage rating was higher than your DR. Like,
No, in real life, that thing is supposed to bash that armor to shit.
it's
and
going to bash it, but not
impede
cut
the other
through
person.
it. But
No,
that's my
no.
point, though. It's going to bash the armor, not cut through it. And so at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how you're taking the damage. A sword cut is still a sword cut, and a greatsword isn't objectively going to do more damage to someone than a arming sword would if they both make a lethal cut on the person.
True, but if both just make, say, a blunt hit to their armor, that great sword is going to do way more physical
Oh yeah,
trauma than the
sure,
armor
obviously,
sword.
but that's just physics at that point. We're not. That's
Yes.
not like that's the problem when you're trying to do an RPG based story is that you have to assign numbers to things if your character has numbers for, say, their health, or the enemies have numbers for their health. Is you actually have to start assigning numbers, but then shit becomes super arbitrary. Why does Crow's greatsword do more damage than Ruby's scythe if they both will cut your arm off?
What does 10 HP really mean?
Yeah, and so it's kind of just like really lame. It doesn't make for great narrative. Also, generally, your character having an HP bar makes for horrible narrative because it's like, oh no, they're getting close to dying. How do you know that? Well, their HP's low. Oh, they just took a health potion, so I guess they're not close to dying anymore. Oh, but they were close to dying until they took the health potion, which restores 50% of their HP.
You can hear the low health siren going off.
Yeah, and like that's cool in a video game, right? That works great in a video game because you're in the moment, you're immersing yourself in the visuals and the sound. That
Yeah, not
doesn't
so
work
much
in a
written
book.
medium.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really work in a book because you have to imagine it, and then you have to. See, the problem is that you can imagine a fight, like, yeah, they're clashing swords together and they're punching each other, and sword break, and you can imagine all of that super easy, but then you have to be like, oh, okay, so they clash swords together. Okay, so then his health bar goes down by 30 from the clash because it reverberated his arm, and then they clash swords again, and then he loses 20 HP this time from the angle. Okay, and then like that drops you out of immersion so fucking quickly.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I like. Don't have that kind of shit in it.
Yeah, and then I mean that's what I'm saying though, right? It's like you can't say, oh, this weapon has B level scaling, or does C levels of damage. Oh, this weapon's better than this weapon. A fucking dagger is gonna kill you just as well as a great sword is if it hits the right spot on you.
Probably better.
Yeah, usually actually. But you know, it's just it doesn't make any fucking sense. And if you try to include all this number shit into your story, it gets you bog yourself down really hard because everything's got to get converted into numbers. And you know what? That's typically the work of around 50 people or like 10 really dedicated people in an indie studio. That's their job, converting everything into numbers. And those numbers don't always make a lot of sense. Like, oh yeah, this big ass hammer with an anvil on it. It's on fire, dripping molten lava. It does 200 damage. Alright, so this normal wood club pulled off of a skeleton. 150 damage.
Hey, listen. It's got better scaling. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's just kind of just like, game damages never make sense. And it's because it's a game. You have to give up some reality to have a game. Now, what I will say I would love, for one thing, for every game to stop fucking doing is, holy shit, guys, gravity isn't that heavy. My arrow will not stop going after 10 goddamn feet. I would know.
Yes,
as an 8-year-old, I managed to do the 50-foot archery range just fine. As a fucking 8-year-old, I'm pretty sure my 25-year-old soldier can shoot an arrow a little bit farther than that.
Sneaky, those of us who use shotguns would like to have a word with you and remind you that shotguns kill up to well over 300 yards away.
I know. That's my fucking complaint. I hate this shit so much in fucking video games. Oh, what's this? We're gonna add sniper rifles to the game. Oh, that's cool. That means you're gonna increase the bullet distance, right, Ubisoft?
No.
Right, Ubisoft? You're gonna increase the bullet distance that bullets can travel? Because you added sniper rifles into the game?
Well,
No?
see, Ubisoft won't do that because they don't actually know what weapon ranges are.
Yeah,
Well,
they
now,
don't.
hang
You know,
on, which
they're
game
French.
are we talking
Yeah,
about?
Tom Clancy Wildlands.
Because I was about to say, the original Wildlands, on when it came out, their sniper rifle stuff was actually pretty good.
It was awful.
Not the second one. The second game was trash. The first one was pretty good.
The first one was better. It was better than a lot of games, but I still had a lot of
Yes.
major problems because I was trying to make 500-meter shots from things where I had clear, blatant line of sight on these people, and I was judging for the 500-meter arc, but after 200
Yeah.
meters, my bullet would drop like it's a fucking meteor in a goddamn heavy gravity zone.
Yeah, that was kind of bullshit. The fall off was bullshit. And you had to go and get a very specific rifle. Like, fuck it, first thing, as soon as you can.
Bro, I'm
as soon
using
as
the
you get
goddamn
free
op.
exploration. No,
I-
I go get the what?
The op, the 50 caliber rifle.
I don't remember which one that is. I haven't played in a while.
The AWP. It's a
I
mainstay
think that's
in
one of the
several
better
shipment.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like you have to get a helicopter and go find the good
Yes,
sniper rifle. At
the
that point.
AWP, one of the best snipers in the game, had the same fall off as every other sniper rifle. Ubisoft doesn't know how bullet drop works.
Oh well. Yeah. Or bullet rise.
And
Listen,
generally,
Bumbling.
Listen,
I mean,
it
just generally
causes me physical pain to say this, but one of the games with a game that has some of the best bullet physics ever is fucking PlanetSide and PlanetSide 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh man, what was that one game that made shotguns so delicious, Max? We were playing it together, and we both commented like, "Holy shit, the shotguns are actually going far."
I don't think it was Battlefield, but it could have been.
It might have. It was Battlefield.
One of the newer
Yeah.
Battlefields. probably.
Battlefield 3.
And not even newer ones, man. Like the older Battlefields were real accurate with their guns.
Slap a 16 scope on that shotgun, put some slug rounds in that motherfucker.
Swap it out for slugs, and suddenly you got yourself a home-built sniper rifle.
Well, yeah, that's
Eat
a slug
shit,
gun.
bitch! Boom! Yeah, good days. But anyway, yeah, that's what you like. Shotguns actually had range in that game because they actually just kept the bullets going in that game.
Because they didn't spread out ridiculously fast.
Yeah,
And then just
I
fall
just
off?
hate that shit. I hated that shit. I hate that shit. Like, Dead Island
Yeah.
2 is really bad about it. Dead Island 2 is
Oh,
horrible about it.
Oh,
Oh,
but
it's
if
so
we
bad.
give you the real thing,
Uh,
it becomes too powerful.
the guns feel pretty good in Dead Island 2, except for pistols and shotguns. They feel awful.
Yeah. The pistols just don't do anything. And the shotguns are like, oh, sorry, if you're not in melee range, you might as well not use it.
I think
And when
I
you
fucking-
are in melee,
The-
in melee range, it still takes like 2 to 3 shots per zombie, and it's
worst-
like, this sucks.
The worst part about shotguns in video games is they tend to treat them like they loaded them with birdshot, but birdshot can still fuck a person up at like 50 yards.
Yeah, no shit.
It won't at 50 yards. It's probably not going to kill someone, but it is going to
Definitely
make
not
their
killing
day a lot worse.
It'll just pepper
Oh, they're
them.
having a bad day.
No,
The
no, if
spice
it's
in them.
no, birdshot, dude, not buckshot. Birdshot at 50 yards. It's going to maim them a bit. It's going to
Number
hurt.
7 shot.
It's going to leave some marks.
Like I said,
but-
it's gonna pepper them.
Yeah.
Turkey loads, on the other hand. Whoo, son.
But yeah,
Don't fuck with
headshot
turkey
people on
loads.
top of skyscrapers with slugs. Yes, good shit. Have you guys seen the veteran grandpa?
Oh,
Is this
I
is this
remember
the
him.
clip you sent me? The guy that was a
Yeah,
sniper.
the
Oh, yeah,
Vietnam
I
vet.
loved watching that and watching him take his scope, track a dude about to parachute off a building, and then grabbing the zip line and be like, "Oh, I know where he's gonna be," and then just firing. Dude reaches the top of the zip line and then just fucking
Dies.
ragdolls from a headshot. It's like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
Oh,
Grandpa
dude.
Gaming just hit 1 million subs. Good for that dude.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if I sent you that
scary.
one clip. Yeah, I don't know if I sent you the one clip where he's talking about the silhouettes.
Yeah, no, that was the clip. That clip was
Everyone
included.
thinks you want the high ground, but what you really want is the low ground, because when it's sunny out and you're not properly silhouetting, you stand out on top of the roofs like this. Bang,
Yeah.
headshot, bang, headshot, bang, headshot.
Yeah.
It's like,
High
Jesus
ground-
Christ.
The high ground is great at night. During the day,
Today.
silhouettes are a thing. My favorite part is I opened that video at a full screen and I still had trouble picking out the pixels that he was
Yeah,
picking.
right? Like, this dude's just like, oh, yeah, muscle memory's kicking in. Headshot, headshot, headshot.
Ah, yes.
Jesus.
The urge to kill rises.
I learned he can't feel anything below his shoulders when he's sitting because he almost got decapitated by his desk. Yo, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Grandpa Gaming. Based.
Also,
But-
perfect proof of why veterans will always scare me if they've been in combat scenarios.
Oh, yeah,
That
man.
never really
Veterans,
goes
veterans
away.
are something else.
Yeah, that turns out those combat instincts never really go away.
No.
No.
Anyway, so that we were
You
one
do not
last
leave Vietnam.
one last bit to make everyone enraged about how this fucking author is stupid. He's also not going to have magic in this story, but it will have a different semblance than he does in canon. Int will scale his semblance. Just like in Soulsborne games, he doesn't have skills.
Okay, but why though?
I mean, you don't really need to learn Ashes of War. You don't really need to learn the special moves of weapons. You kind of just know them immediately. And you're actually kind of just a master of the weapon immediately out of the gate. That's why you don't have a skill system in Soulsborne. Is you can pick up literally any weapon and be a master in it instantly. So he will have to learn how to do things the hard way. So not like a Soulsborne. Just like in a Soulsborne, you have to learn how to use your sword the hard way,
That is not how they do it.
said the game's journalist.
Ah, yes. Let's turn on games journal mode.
His classes will also have a point to them. Skills are annoying to keep track of and often boost a character too much for my liking. You know what? There's a great way to get around your character being boosted too much for your liking. Is you don't make the skills boost your character's stats, and then you also don't make your character have stats. So you can just have a running skill where you spend aura and you move faster. How much faster? Just faster.
My character has the skill. He flies whenever he helicopters certain parts. Which parts? Don't ask that.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But yeah, so that's so we read one story, guys, tonight. We did it! Yay! We did it! We read one story. Also, donate to his Patreon.
Our Patreon, not his.
No.
Yeah, well, you give us the money. Any money you were gonna give him, you should give us.
Yep. Nope. Sneaky makes a good point.
Yeah. You'll get about the same worth out of it.
Sneaky needs to buy more 5-pound
Yeah,
bags. of
you
rice.
know, it'll be the same. You'll just be pissing it down the toilet because
Yeah.
Twitch will never pay that out to us.
Exactly. Well, actually, I did get paid $50 by Twitch last month. I did check that. I just have not
I would
gotten
like my
around
cut,
to
please.
sending it to you guys. Yeah.
Do you want your 33 yen, Max?
Do you wish it in yen?
No.
Ah,
Don't you
Zimbabwe
want
dollars.
it?
Not
Definitely-
again. Please
definitely
not
don't
again.
want it in yen right now.
I swear to God, if you pay it to me in yen with what's happened to the yen in the last 2 years.
The last 2 years, Max, you should be terrified of what happened to the yen in the last 24 hours.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if I'd wanted an American dollar after the last 24 hours.
Don't worry, I shall pay you in francs.
Good news, guys. Next stream will be a live collab between me and Sneaky. Bad news. Will be the last one ever.
I would like to see the two of you fight just because, like, I predict that will take quite some time. You are both quite built.
I don't think it'll take any time at all. I think Sneaky's like me. We'll fight dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I
think
the
you're
fight will be
expecting-
dirty. I still think it'll take
I
a
give it
while.
maybe 30 seconds before someone's neck is getting snapped.
Well,
Or
no,
throat
your
punched,
mistake,
or
is,
sternum crushed.
Yeah.
your mistake is not taking a gun to a fist fight.
Actually, your
Clearly,
mistake
that was
is
your
taking a
issue.
gun to a fist fight.
That's
You
what you
know.
No, that's
Train
what
for that
police think.
range.
You can train all you want. I have seen enough police footage to know that with someone's within 20 feet of you, phew,
They can get there quick. I know it's the 21-foot rule.
If you're not a trained sharpshooter with that pistol, don't even fucking try it.
but let's we'll cap it off tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But don't worry, we will be back on Friday because there is always more. And it always gets worse.